Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kip Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kip Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729 or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTK-AM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Sactown Sports.
Feeding your passion for local sports in the afternoon. It's the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper on your radio at 1140 a.m.
Streaming audio at SactownSports.com and the Sactown Sports app.
You can also watch the show on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140. Here are the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper.
I know it's early in the season and everything, but that one stung a little bit. Kyle Draper, Whitey Gleason, you, of course, had the call. It's interesting. I was watching some highlights this morning.
Yeah.
And so on the highlights, they had the Warrior call.
Right.
I, of course, was watching you. But Bob Fitzgerald during the highlights was talking about how, wow, Dub Nation's awfully quiet in here. So that's one of the things that hurts. The Kings really had the Warriors on their heels last night.
They did. I thought the Kings played an excellent game. And, I don't know about Bob Fitzgerald. I thought, the first half it might have been a little quiet, but that fourth quarter, that crowd was on its feet. It felt like a playoff game. Honestly, I didn't know Chase Center could get that loud. I was shocked that their fan base brought it the way they did, because the first half, they were a late arriving crowd as well. And I'm like, but that second half, they were flowing and Steph got going just a little bit and the crowd got into it. And it was a November 1st regular season game, but you could feel it, Whitey. You could feel it inside that building. That game meant more, not only to the players, but to the fan base also.
Yeah, well, you remember that preseason game. Everybody really wanted to win that.
Right.
That one didn't even count. So, yeah, huge opportunity loss for the Kings, of course. Without De'Aaron Fox, they didn't make enough shots. But I'm choosing to be more encouraged by how they defended,
Ooh,
then discouraged by the fact that they let one slip through their fingers.
Let me ask you this, though, because I understand the defense. You hold them to 102 points, turn them over 18 times, but the Warriors still shot 48% from the field. They still hit 35.5% from the field, 3-point range. And so I thought the defense, yes, it was better, no doubt about it. But I'd rather that number 43% Warriors shooting. You know what I mean? Like, they competed hard. Give them no doubt about that. I thought especially in that third quarter when they held them to, 18 points, I think it was. That was a huge quarter defensively for the Kings. The problem is the Kings couldn't score. But in that third quarter alone, the Warriors shot only 30% from the field in that third quarter, but yet they shot 48% for the game. And so then you look at the fourth quarter, I got the box score right in front of me. The Warriors shot 55%.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what Mike Brown is talking. It was a great defensive effort, yes, but you got to be more consistent with it. And to allow them to shoot 55%, you only shoot 33% in the fourth. That's your game right there.
Yeah, they defended better against the Lakers, but to do that against the Lakers and then last night without Fox, to have at times an inspired defensive effort, there are some encouraging signs there. But, of course, you lose a game where you don't have enough offense and no De'Aaron Fox, but that wasn't really the problem. De'Aaron Fox or not, they just missed so many shots, and a lot of them were, for the Kings, very makeable shots.
So many open looks, so many good looks, so many looks around the basket as well. Sacramento, 11 of 35 last night when it comes to three-point shooting. They got to be better, right? If you're going to beat the Warriors, 31% isn't going to get it done. But then I also look at, points in the paint. The Kings were 19 of 41 in the paint.
Yeah, they missed
That's less than
50%
in the paint. And so, to your point, you're right. Shots that you normally make, shots that, Keegan Murray, I loved his confidence. Sure, the shots weren't falling, but he took a lot of good shots. They just weren't going down. And it's the second time this season that we've seen that. Because Friday at home against the Warriors, I thought they competed hard defensively. They just didn't make shots in that game outside of De'Aaron Fox.
Domas, of course, had 23 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists. He felt the need to shoulder more of the offensive responsibility. And after the game last night, he talked about Klay's game-winning shot and what Domas saw as that unfolded.
It's a tough play when you have Steph on the court. Our goal, our coaches were yelling at us to hit Steph, which means get the ball out of his hands and make someone else make a play and hit a good shot. I feel like Davion was there. Klay just shot a ball and knocked it down.
Yeah, even on that play, I mean, they got the ball out of Steph's hands.
Right. But, on that final play by Klay Thompson, and I love Davion. He's my guy. But Klay Thompson's 6'6". Davion's 6'2". And I think at that point, Davion's size hurt him in that, Klay could just shoot right over him. Great shot by Klay. Davion gave it all he could, but that's what happens when you have a 6'2" guy guarding a 6'6" guy. And so tip your hat to Klay. I don't think Davion could have done anything differently on that possession. It was just a great shot, a big-time shot by Klay Thompson.
Mm-hmm. We talked yesterday about how important it was for Davion to play well. And again, not making excuses. I know they lost, but he really had his moments last night, hit 3 of 6 3-pointers. He had a very nice game. That's another encouraging sign.
Yes, we talk about I would say maybe the most encouraging sign. I thought Davion really came out and set the tone in that game. He knocked down back-to-back threes to start the game. Started out 6-0. He scored the first 6 points for the Sacramento Kings, played close to 30 minutes, 13 points, 5 of 9 shooting. I would like a little more even from Davion. I think we said yesterday, 10 to 15 shots a game. He only shot 9, but I thought he was perfect in that game, especially defensively too. They had him guarding a little bit of everybody. He guarded some Steph. He guarded Klay. He even guarded Draymond Green as well. And so those are tough assignments, especially – he's not used to guarding a guy Draymond's size, and I thought he did a good job in that second half.
Yeah, I was watching that, and I noticed at some point, hey, Davion's guarding Draymond.
Right.
First I thought, there was a switch or something, but then I realized, kept watching it, and it was like Chris Watkins suggested, I think they did that. Mike Brown did that to negate the effect of Draymond setting screens on Steph's man.
Yeah.
So, and that was brilliant strategy.
Yeah, brilliant. And you like the length of Keegan Murray
Right.
on Steph. I thought Keegan did a hell of a job. Steph Curry, as great as he is, he 7 of 15 shooting, but he had 7 turnovers last night.
Yeah.
Like that's high level defense. I thought.
Where was that in game 7,
we
Kyle?
we needed that.
Just a little bit.
Just
of
a
that.
little bit of that. Only 21 points for Steph, but like I said, he turned it over 7 times, and so I think the length, the size, and the length of Keegan actually bothered Steph Curry last night.
Yeah. So it's a number of ways you can look at it after last night. I think, though, we can agree on this. You go into Houston, and you got Portland coming up.
Yeah.
You got to grab some of these. No excuses, no buts, no moral victories. Next 3 games, you got to play very well, and you got to take advantage of this opportunity because the West, and we knew it would be this way, but already it's just a dogfight night in and night out.
Yeah, exactly. You're 2-2 right now, and think about it. You got the 2 against Houston. You got the 1 against Portland. You get those 3, you're 5-2. We're feeling really good about where this team is right now. And I was encouraged that they were able to compete last night without their guy, without their leader, De'Aaron Fox. I thought, and we talked about it on our show yesterday, Whitey, it's not on Davion. It's not on Malik. Everybody had to raise their game a little bit, and I thought they did. Forget about the shots not falling for Keegan, let's say. How about the defense that Kevin Huerter, the shots may not have fallen, but how about the 9 rebounds that he had? So everybody contributed. Kobe Jones played extremely well. We'll talk about him over the next couple hours as well. And so I thought, I'm not into moral victories because we're past that. To me, moral victories mean, you know what, we weren't supposed to win that game anyway, but we do have some positives. No, you should have won the game, Sacramento. You should have won the game, Kings. You got to get the stop at the end. You got to defend better in that fourth quarter. But, there were some encouraging signs, I'll say, that came out of that.
Rebounding-wise, they out-rebounded the Warriors 48.
Yes.
36. They pounded them on the glass.
Pounded them, and we talk about the encouraging signs. How about Golden State? Only 7 offensive rebounds that entire game. Remember, in Game 7, they feasted on us when it comes to crashing the glass on the offensive rebounds. I will say, when you look at it, they gave up 4 offensive rebounds in that final quarter. And so that's what I think is the difference between, where the Warriors are and where the Kings are right now. And it's really a slim margin. It's not that much of a gap between these two teams, but the Warriors know how to execute. They know who they are when it comes down the stretch of close games. And we saw that last night, 55% from the field. Think about this, Whitey. Through the first 3 quarters, Golden State had 0 block shots. How many did they finish with? 6. They had 6 block shots in the final period. The Warriors stepped up their defense in the fourth quarter, and that's what championship teams do.
Can I share with you the one Kings possession that I just haven't been able to get out of my mind? And I don't know why I'm fixating on this one, because, one game, 1-point game, there's a lot of things you can point to. But there was, I think it's about 10 minutes left in the fourth period. And I'm sure you'll remember this possession. Kings have the ball in the half court. Ball goes out of bounds. Then they inbound, and Malik loses track of the shot clock.
Yes.
They don't get a shot. And it was a 1-point game at the time, I thought.
Right.
And I was thinking, you got to get a shot.
You got to get a shot.
And then he's like saying, oh, no one told me, no one talked to me. But if you're the point guard, you got to know.
Yeah, he's on the wing
the
over there,
shot
and I'm sitting, and I'm like, I don't think he knows. On the call, I'm like, he's not aware. It was like 3 seconds, 2. Malik, you got to get it up. I don't think he. And then the shot clock ran out, and you would think in that situation, that's the first thing you say.
Yes.
All right, guys, 5 on the clock. Or something like that should be the reminder. And, honestly,
that one killed me.
If we're being 100% truthful, nobody should have to tell Malik, yes, you want your teammates to leak. Look at the clock, But Malik has to be aware of that
also.
also.
If you're going to be the point guard.
Yeah, he has to be aware of that also. That was a big possession.
Yeah. All right. I don't feel as bad.
You all right? You good?
It still bothers me because that's the type of stuff that, when I coached, I'd bench people for. Shouldn't have. But anyway, yeah. I do think sometimes Malik, his inexperience as a point guard shows he's a little overexposed this year, in my opinion, as a point guard. He should still continue to play it. He has to, and he was so good at it, especially last year in the playoffs. But sometimes a play like that, to me, shows that, all right, he doesn't have a lot of experience playing point guard at this level.
I mean, you're asking a two guard to be a point,
Yeah.
and he does a good job at it. But there's different levels to being a point guard. You know, they always say the point guard is the floor general out there, and you got to be aware. You not only have to know your position, your spot, but you got to know time, situation, where everybody's supposed to be on the floor. And so that's why the great point guards, man, they, you know, the guys like Rajon Rondo and, you know, Chris Paul and all those kind of guys, just how, you know, they understand time and situation. And that's so important. And Malik's done a fantastic job.
Yes.
I'm not going to bash him or anything. He's doing a hell of a job, you know, filling that role in that backup role at point guard. But, you know, in that instance, we needed somebody to be aware of the clock running down.
Right. And even on the Sabonis shot, Malik almost lost the dribble, and he had a good game. I'm just saying that's kind of a weak spot here. There's no better option, so I get it. And he has played better at point guard than I think. Well, I know a lot of people, myself included, thought he could, but still that's an area right now without De'Aaron where sometimes, you know, you got to kind of hold your breath a little bit. We're going to take a quick timeout, and Sean Powell from NBA.com is going to join us with a look at everything wild that's going on in the West. And, of course, we're taking your calls all afternoon today, only with you till 4:30 when we get to Monday Night Football. It's the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
If that sound gives you nightmares, there's a cheap and easy way to avoid engines not firing. Stable, America's #1 fuel stabilizer, ensures quick and easy starts after storage. Stable's proprietary formula keeps fuel fresh for 2 years, outperforming competitors. Pour Stable in your gas can or directly into the tank of your car, truck, hybrid, boat, ATV, motorcycle, or lawnmower to prevent fuel-related engine problems that cost time and money. When you store, start with Stable.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Now listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and myself the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Get your vehicle ready for the holiday driving season at Jiffy Lube today. Oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. For more information, go to jiffylube.com.
Through Friday on Sactown Sports.
With you until 4:30 today for Thursday Night Football. Pardon me, I know I said Monday Night Football. Kyle Draper, who had the call last night, NBC Sports California. Whitey Gleason, a lot of people on the chat find some encouraging notes from last night. On the other hand, you got Ultimate Kingpin who says, not looking for positive signs, looking for a W against the freaking Warriors in this decade.
I love it, Ultimate Kingpin. We're way past positive signs. We're about winning games, you know, and you got to understand, too, the Warriors are going to be there at the end of the season in terms of seeding. And so these next 2 games against them, one later this month, one in January, you don't want them to have the tiebreaker against you. It could come back to bite you down the stretch.
Nice enough to join us now with more on the Kings, the Warriors, and the Wild West from NBA.com. Outstanding writer Sean Powell. Sean, what stands out to you, sir? Welcome to the show. We appreciate your time. What stands out to you the most about what's going on in the Western Conference 1 week plus into this brand new season?
Well, first of all, everybody's healthy. And for the most part, I mean, the Phoenix Suns might disagree with that statement, but I don't think Devin Booker is going to be out too much longer. He's probably going to return, and I think the Suns will eventually get it right. But look, I mean, the Warriors are who we thought they were. Chris Paul has fit in very well with that team. Same thing for the Denver Nuggets. And then after that, it's really a scramble. I mean, the Clippers, we'll see what happens with them, with James Harden coming in. LeBron James, he's in year, 3 or is it 21? I can't tell. I can't tell the difference.
No, you're right, Sean.
Well.
Sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, and then it's just everybody else. It's so early. Obviously, you don't want to create narratives this early. You don't want to jump all in on one team or jump off the good ship Memphis Grizzlies just yet. So we'll just see what happens between now and, say, the holidays.
Sean, I know you were in the building. I thought I saw you Sunday at Golden One Center for that big matchup against the Lakers. Just give me your initial thoughts on the Sacramento Kings. Obviously a great year last year. How do they back it up this season?
Well, you want to see growth. You want to see them build on what they did last year. They have a couple strikes against them. Number one, they're not going to catch anybody by surprise this season. I mean, it used to be in the past that, people would circle the Sacramento game on the schedule, and teams would conveniently rest players or, not really take the Kings very seriously. Well, that's not happening anymore. And that's a credit to the Sacramento Kings and what they've built there. So they're not catching anybody by surprise. They've got respect. And the other thing is, last year, I think they took advantage of certain situations in the West, namely injuries, to some teams that normally would be there, like the Clippers, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard missing a lot of time. Had those players been healthy, maybe Sacramento wouldn't have finished as high as they did in the West. But I'm nitpicking here. I think the Kings are good. I think they're established. I love De'Aaron Fox. I'm a big time believer in him. The other players just have to, take their game to the next level. Listen to what Mike Brown's telling him. He's a good coach. And like I said, just try to build on what you did last year. And by the way, stop the Warriors at the city limits. Don't bring them anywhere near Sacramento. Then you'll be pretty good.
Sean Powell, nice enough to join us from NBA.com. And Sean, you're a guest here, and we appreciate your time. So we're not going to be rude or anything, but I got to ask you, as you mentioned the Kings roster there, you didn't mention their center, and he seems to be kind of a polarizing figure when it comes to national writers. How good is this guy, Domas Sabonis? Do you think Fox and Sabonis, the two of them, are good enough in terms of being their best players to get them into the playoffs and perhaps advance in the playoffs?
I covered the Kings Warriors playoff series last year, and again, I thought Sabonis deserved everything all the awards he got last year. Also, all that stuff is great, but in the playoffs, he was exposed. I mean, he couldn't hit an outside shot, and I think that spooked him. All of a sudden, he's passing up shots, and that leads to turnovers. He was outplayed in that series, and he was the better big man. And I came to see them play the Warriors. What was their first home game this season? And I saw some improvement. But again, here's the one thing, and you guys have been around the NBA long enough. The great players get better every year. That they recognize their weaknesses, they work on it over the summer, and they come back with a new twist. And that's a challenge for young players in this league. They have to work on their weaknesses. And with Sabonis, he's got to knock down that jumper. All of a sudden, the defense, they're gonna play him the way they play Russell Westbrook. They're going to be in the next zip code, and they're going to force him to take that jump shot until he gets the respect where the defense is going to play him up. And then you got, Malik Monk, again, he had a very good year last year. Is he going to do the same thing? Harrison Barnes, who's, the veteran on that team. He's off to a decent start this year, but how much better is he really going to get at this point? And Kevin Huerter's off to a slow start. What's he going to do for the rest of the year? Again, I don't want to paint too much of a picture about the Sacramento Kings this year after only a few weeks in the NBA season, but that's just a challenge. Oh, and by the way, so where would they rank right now among NBA teams in California? And it might be number 4 at the moment, although that can improve. But
you got them at 4?
Okay, you've got the Lakers are better, I think.
Oh, okay.
Anthony Davis, LeBron James is playing out of his mind. The Clippers with James Harden, even without James Harden, I think the Clippers are a little bit more established. Their only issue is injuries, and we're not even going to mention the Golden State Warriors now.
Here's the thing, Sean, and this what frustrates me, I guess, when national people and people in general just talk about the Sacramento Kings. One day I got Charles Barkley saying they're the best team in California. The next day, I got you saying they're the worst team in Cal. Who are the Sacramento Kings? Like, their upside could be really high, but then I feel like there's still a lot of doubters out there.
Well, when I say best, first of all, again, it's like a razor thin difference between number 1 and number 4. I mean, all those California teams are very good, so there's not a bad team in the bunch. But again, it's going to come down to little things. It's going to come down to, the Sacramento Kings showing growth as young teams should do. It's going to come down for the Clippers to stay healthy. LeBron James played well in his 21st season. And for the Warriors, Chris Paul fitting in. So there's a margin for error for all 4 of those teams. And so when I say the Kings might be number 4, hey, in a couple weeks, it might be number 1.
Sean Powell, NBA.com with us. How much of an impact do you expect James Harden to have on the Clippers and on this Western Conference situation?
Oh, man, that's crazy. The thing about with James Harden is there are a lot of teams that would not touch him. He's too toxic. I mean, they're like, he bailed on the Rockets. He bailed on Brooklyn. He bailed on Daryl Morey and the Philadelphia 76ers. What makes you think he won't bail on us? After a while, you get a reputation, a track record, and it's crazy. Now, look, here's the thing. He's still a good player. He's not MVP James Harden. He's not the James Harden we saw in Houston, but he's still a good player. I just hope for his sake and for the Clippers' sake that he has been humbled to a degree. We all should be humbled. Right? Like Russell Westbrook was humbled when he played for the Lakers. And so all of a sudden, when he came to the Clippers, he had to fit a role. And he kind of accepted that. I'm not so sure James Harden has turned the page yet because he's still a good player. He's got an ego. Look, all great players have an ego. But he has to prove to the Clippers and the rest of the league that he can fit in with that team. And he's willing to accept whatever role it takes, sacrifice, to try to win that first championship. If he doesn't, that thing is going to fall like a house of cards.
Wow, that's big time stuff right there from Sean Powell. Sean, let's stick with the Clippers and that Lakers matchup last night. How refreshing was it to see that all the stars actually in the game and playing? Kawhi, Paul George, LeBron, AD, everybody was healthy last night.
Hey, let me tell you something. If I put money on what I thought was going to happen and who would play, I'd be broke right now. Because there's no way I thought Kawhi Leonard and or Paul George were going to play that game. Now, having said that, they don't play again till I think Monday. They had it's a weird little quirk in the schedule where they had 5 days off, which for them is actually pretty good because now James Harden could whip himself in shape. He's kind of over the calorie cap right now, so he's got to get he's got to get that conditioning down. But yeah, it was good to see them all on the floor. And when the NBA came up with the player participation policy, they had this in mind. National TV game, big game, LA teams, 2 title contenders. You wanted to see the stars on the floor. And the good thing is, they all played well. Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George. All those guys played well. This is what the NBA needs. And look, I don't want to sound like an old school head here, right? Although this is my 36th year covering the NBA. But back in the day, this was never an issue. Guys showed up and played. And this was never an issue. And I get it. You want to protect your investments. If you're paying a guy $45, $50 million, you want to make sure he's there in April, May, and June. I do get that. But I just don't understand the reluctance to play basketball. The love of the game should always take over. And you should be out there playing. Larry Bird played with a bad back. He was resting on the floor in front of the bench. I don't know if you guys remember.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's what it takes. And I'm not so sure. And again, I don't want to sound like, old guy.
Get off my lawn. Yeah.
Yeah. But man, the love of the game, should always be first and foremost with NBA players.
Sean Powell, a great follow on X. You see him on NBA.com, NBA TV. Sean, thanks very much for your time. We appreciate it. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the rest of the season. Hopefully we'll talk to you again very soon.
Hey, thanks a lot, guys.
All right, Sean. Thanks, man.
Sean Powell sounded like, he was trying hard not to say bad things about the Kings.
Dude, when he said that they're the 4th team in California, man, I almost was about to wave to Jay, cut his mic, cut him off. Don't, you know what? And that's the level of disrespect, once again, that the Sacramento Kings get from some of the national media. I'm going by the eye test. Forget the names on the back of the jerseys, Whitey. You know me. Forget about the names on the back of the jerseys. what have you done for me lately? The Sacramento Kings were the third best team in the Western Conference. And he talked about injuries and everything like that. LeBron's old. Kawhi, Paul George, they've had injury history. And so maybe right now he can say that. Talk to me in February, March, and April. I want to see where things stand.
And was it me, or did he sound like he's at the foot of the bed and his wife's asleep and he doesn't want to wake her up? I'll tell you guys, but my wife's sleeping.
I think that's how Sean is, though. I think that's just his thing. That's just his way.
Yeah, we appreciate his time. And we appreciate your time. And we got something special for you when we come back. Drapes Takes, baby!
Yeah!
Next.
I'm fired up.
Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
Can Mike Brown build on last season's Coach of the Year award? Can the Kings exceed 48 wins?
We will be better prepared to make the run that we expect to run come next playoff.
Tune into every Kings game this season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave letting you know Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room and primetime football location is back. Cap Casino giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Check it out, Capital Casino. And as always, please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you find the right customers. Spread awareness of your product or services. We can help build trust in your brand and services with a digital marketing campaign. Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing campaigns that deliver results. Don't wait. Get started today. Contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results.
Hey guys, do you know what makes Revive Men's Health Sacramento different? You. Every Revive treatment and medication is personalized just for you. Revive has the experts that guys go to when their current treatment isn't working. They have a complicated medical condition, or they're just not happy with their daily performance. Since 2011, they've helped thousands of local men suffering with the symptoms of low T and ED. Their goal is simple: to get to the bottom of your issues and fix them. Your best performance requires more than generic ED medications or a low-dose testosterone booster at a low-ball price like you find online. Revive medications are custom compounded, affordable, and guaranteed to resolve your issues. Stop dealing with the symptoms of low T or ED. Book your free T-check and exam and save $199 today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit us at revivemenshealth.com.
Imagine it's the last ride, but your symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, are taking you for a ride. What should you do? Keep managing your constipation with belly pain the same old way? Or try getting ahead of your symptoms by talking to your doctor about treating it with Linzess, linaclotide. Linzess is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LIN.
Five seasons.
Sactown Sports.
Got to Drive Guys, Whitey and Drapes, the day after that tough loss. By the way, real quick note on our guest, Sean Powell. We appreciate his time. And there were a number of Kings fans on the chat that didn't appreciate his views on the Kings, but he did. I think he had a good fourth quarter because we have some comments here that people appreciated the fact that, Sean said it's about the love of the game, and some people appreciated his comments about Harden being over the calorie cap. So I thought he salvaged things.
Yeah, a little bit
for us.
But I'm looking at the YouTube chat, and there are a few people in there who might not be Kings fans. They may be posing right there. Ultimate Kingpin. Has Sabonis ever won a jump ball in his entire career? A Sabonis jump ball is simply a turnover. See, so, we got some posers in the chat. I don't know, some closet Warrior fans or something like that in the chat.
Yeah, but he's the one who earlier said he was so mad because I don't need moral victories. I need to beat the Kings.
Yeah.
So that's just
a frustrated
goodness,
King fan right now. Okay.
A lot of frustration. But we're going to make you feel better now because it's time for, we have this after every Kings game. It's time for Drape's Takes.
Calm down, Lion. Calm down. Take it easy, man. Just take it easy.
All right, Drape's Takes. We're about to kick it off. Jay Johnson, you right there? Cut the music off, Jay. Cut the music off. I got to go to my single shot here. I'm talking to you listeners on the YouTube chat in the car right now. Here's the thing about Drape's Takes. It's unbiased. It's unfiltered. I'm going to give you the realest synopsis and takeaway from the Sacramento Kings game. That's what I'm about to give you. You might not like it, Whitey. You might not like it, Kings fans, but I'm going to give it to you. Jay, run that back for me. Let's get into Drape's Takes here on Sactown Sports 1140.
Calm down. Take it easy, man. Just take it easy.
I'm going to start off with my guy, Davion Mitchell. Davion Mitchell, to me, was the most impressive part of yesterday's game. Don't talk about the defense. Don't talk about Domantas Sabonis points. Kobe Jones, I don't want to talk about him at this moment. I thought Davion Mitchell came in and gave you everything you wanted from a backup point guard who was thrust into the starting position last night for the Sacramento Kings. He gave you 13 points. He gave you 4 dimes. How about the 3 steals as well? He was great defensively. And so if De'Aaron Fox does have to miss a couple of more games, I'm firmly confident that things will be okay because I thought Davion Mitchell did a hell of a job last night, White.
He has a pretty jump shot. I've been saying that since the playoffs last year. He's shown flashes of it, worked on it all season long. I think he's going to have a real nice season shooting the ball beyond the arc.
Exactly, and Katie and I talked about it on the broadcast last night. Davion put in the work with Brandon Payne, who's Steph Curry's shooting coach. They tweaked a couple of things on his three-point shot, and we see the difference. Davion spent this time, obviously, here in Sacramento, here in the United States, but he was out in Madrid, he was out in Costa Rica, and he took assistant coaches on the road with him. So this dude is putting in the work, and I think over these next couple of days, we're going to, games, we're going to see it pay off.
Question, does Brandon Payne have time to work with Kevin Huerter? Does he have
he might have
any
to
room on his schedule?
Mike Brown might have to hire him on staff, right? Like, he's just going to have to be the shooting guru of the entire Sacramento Kings team. But this is Drape's Takes, Whitey. This isn't Whitey's take, so don't try to interrupt, big fella. Don't try to interrupt. I am going to give some love to my guy, Kobe Jones. It was our first time seeing him in extended regular season action. And you know what? He didn't hurt you at all. Nope. In fact, he looked heady out there. He looked like he belonged. And he made some plays out there defensively, taking the ball to the basket. I thought Kobe Jones in 17 minutes plus, he was tremendous last night.
And he gave you a little bit of everything, and he said, that's what I do.
That's what he does. He is an all-around player. He's not going to get you 30 points. He's not going to get you 15 rebounds. Not going to get you 12 assists. But he's a stat stuffer. Like, he's a guy that's going to, get you 10 points, going to get you 6 or 7 rebounds, 4 or 5 assists, play great defense. I thought in that environment, Golden State, rivalry game, Chase Center crowd, he played extremely well. I don't know how he's going to earn minutes going forward, but if I'm Mike Brown, that's a great luxury to have.
Yeah, and
to
if
know
he
that you
playing
can go
like
to that
that,
guy.
he's going to earn those minutes. I love his first basket. He beats Paul. He's at the baseline, and there was a little bit of an awkward shot, a leap and leaner. That's an easy shot to pass up. But he took that aggressive shot and knocked it down.
Exactly. And so give Kobe Jones a lot of credit. My third and final Drape's Take. And this is the one Sacramento Kings fans you're not going to like, but I got to call it out like I see it. We want to talk about the defense today and how great it was. And sure, they forced 18 turnovers, I think it was, last night from the Golden State Warriors, but they only scored 18 points off those turnovers. So if you're going to force turnovers, make sure you make the other team pay on the other end. Sacramento committed 15 turnovers, which led to 20 Golden State Warriors points. And so they got to do a better job of not only playing defense, getting the turnovers, but scoring off of that. But with that being said, Whitey, we all say it was a great defensive effort from the Kings, right? Take away the third quarter Golden State shot 54% from the game. That's not great. And if I'm Mike Brown during practice today, that's one of the first things I'm talking. You know what, guys? You showed flashes, but it has to be more consistent. I don't think it was consistent last night. Sure, you held them to 102 points. I think a lot of that, Golden State, they had butterfingers, they had stone hands, they turned the ball over a lot. But when they actually shot the ball, 54% in the first, second, and fourth quarters combined.
It's a great point. Me personally, I was just so encouraged by the stretch, especially in the third quarter, of some impressive defense. It's night and day with what we see from this team sometimes, and we know that's their focus, and that's really their path to improvement. So I chose to be encouraged by that, even though, as you say, to suggest that they had a great defensive night all the way through the whole 48 minutes, that's probably a bit of a stretch.
And here's what the Kings have to understand. And they showed it a little bit last year with their fourth quarter defense being a top 10 defense in the league. It's not about whether you play defense or not. It's whether you play defense when the game's on the line. And last night in that fourth period, I said it earlier, Golden State shot 55%. They scored 28 points in that fourth period. So what happened was, sure, the Kings might have played defense, but Golden State played better defense. Golden State 6 block shots, I believe, in that fourth period. Yes, Golden State had a steal in that fourth period. They were 11 of 20 from the field. Sacramento 7 of 21. And so I think there's some lessons to be learned from last night. I know we wake up feeling encouraged. No De'Aaron Fox. We were right there. But this team has to be better in situational defense, too. And I thought last night in that fourth quarter, they weren't as good as Mike Brown wanted.
I think you're right. I don't think there's any disputing that. But what's frustrating is the Kings did themselves no favors. They did their defense no favors. That fourth quarter, they scored 22 points. That was their lowest production of the night. And when you start missing shots, and they missed so many makeable shots last night, whether De'Aaron Fox was there or not, and you start missing those in the fourth quarter and things start snowballing, and you've had a pretty solid defensive effort, all of a sudden you make it a lot tougher on yourself when the Warriors are running downhill at you.
Yeah, and a lot of times, too, what happens, and this happened last night, veteran teams that have been to the mountaintop, they know how to ratchet it up.
They do.
They know how to go to another level.
Magic used to call it winning
time. Exactly. And the Warriors, what happened, the reason why they won that game, because it was winning time. They outscored them 28-22 in that fourth quarter. I don't know if the Kings got tight. Did the Warriors defense turn up a little bit? Because there's levels to this. And as great as the Kings played defensively, third quarter, they held them to 6 for 20. Historically, the Warriors are an amazing third quarter team. So I was encouraged by that. But now you got to do that again in the fourth quarter when it matters the most. Let me pull up the box score one more time, Whitey, because I'm getting frustrated about this. Because in the fourth quarter, you had done a great job against Steph Curry all game long, but then he goes off for 7 in the fourth quarter. Klay Thompson was a +8 in the fourth quarter alone. And so you got to do a better job, man, when it comes. Klay Thompson had 3 block shots. Klay Thompson can't jump up on a curb anymore right now because of all the injuries, and he had 3 block shots. And so that's why I'm frustrated. That's why I'm discouraged. The game was there for the taking, and the Kings just didn't make enough plays down the stretch.
Right. I know a lot of fans listening to the station today are frustrated looking on Twitter. Fans are frustrated by some of the missed free throws. For the night, the Kings were 78%, but we know that Sabonis missed a couple big ones. What'd you think of that, and what do you think of that as an area of improvement going forward? 18 for 23 last night, but it wasn't so much how many they missed as it was when they missed them.
Yeah, the numbers aren't bad, right? It's not bad. But Sabonis, I think, missed a pair late in that game, and that just can't happen. And he did come back and make a pair, I do believe,
You're right.
After that. But, that can't happen. You're giving away freebies. And so especially in a game like this where the margins are so small, 18 of 23 – on the whole, like you said, that's not bad. But on the road, you miss a couple. That gets the crowd into it. It's bigger than just those 2 free throws, and we saw that last night.
Yeah, that was just another example of how they missed so many shots, not just free throws, but shots right at the rim. That's what's frustrating. That game was right there. As you know, if you saw it, you broadcast it right there for the taking, and they couldn't quite get over the hump. Tip of the cap to Klay and all that. But that was a game the Kings should have had. We'll we're going to take time out, pardon me. When we come back, we're going to get the latest on De'Aaron Fox from De'Aaron Fox himself, what he had to say this afternoon on when he may be back. That's next. Kyle Draper, Whitey Gleason, Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam Team, Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Red Hawk Resort Casino is the best place to go all in and all out. Go all in at our table games, then go all out to win on the area's only 3-story indoor kart track. Or go all in for our famous award-winning buffet. Then go all out at our state-of-the-art 18-lane bowling center. And now with a world-class sports bar and beautiful resort hotel, you can go all in for fun and all out for comfort. We're Red Hawk Resort Casino, official casino partner of the Sacramento Kings.
Yep, that trailer hitch and folding bed cover from TruckSmart makes road trips a breeze.
Right? I'm so much more organized on the job site since TruckSmart installed my truck rack and toolbox.
And they had it all in stock, so I just waited as they installed everything.
Take a look at this sweet Rhino truck lining. They sprayed it on.
Yeah, you win. That is sweet.
Truck Smart, truck and SUV accessories for on the road and the job site. Stop by one of our 2 locations in Rockland or Auburn. TruckSmart.com. Your truck's gonna love them.
Individual rates, offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all states and situations.
Hey, small business owner. Are you ready to have the best year ever in 2024? When's the last time you checked your workers' comp rate? For many small businesses, workers' comp insurance is one of their biggest costs. But Pi Insurance could save you up to 30% in just 3 minutes. Go to trypi.com, share a few details about your business, and get a quote that's customized for your business. No hassles or hidden fees. We know you're busy, but spending just a few minutes to check your rate could make this your best year ever. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified. See how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote at trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
One of the things with running is I want to enjoy the run, but I never made it very far because the arches in my feet just killed me. So when I got to the end of my rope and I said I have to do something to get rid of the pain, and a couple of people recommended the Good Feet store to me, I loved how I could go in and get a free personalized arch support fitting. They put that time, that work, that effort into helping you find the right arch supports. And you can walk around this store with these in your shoes and try them out before you purchase them. So after I got my arch supports, the arches on my feet stopped hurting and the pain instantly, literally instantly went away. So if you have pain, go. Find a Good Feet store and go. There is an answer. Find the simple solution that will get rid of your pain. I'm Rondi, and that's my Good Feet story.
See how Good Feet arch supports work for you before you buy with a free fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
Knee, hip, foot, leg, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Cooler temperatures mean it's time to reduce your outdoor water use. Water 1 day per week on Saturday or Sunday from November 1st through February 29th. Learn more about your home's watering schedule at sacwaterwise.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team. Sactown Sports.
What's up with De'Aaron Fox? We're going to find out in just a moment here with the Drive guys. We're getting a ton of comments, as you can imagine, on the text line 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140, on the YouTube chat. As you can imagine, Drapes, most of the comments are about the Texas Rangers winning the World Series last night.
Yeah, I'm sure. Did that happen? I totally missed I missed the World Series. I didn't miss a game. I missed the entire World Series. That's on me. That's my fault.
I did have to do a little back and forth because Zach Gallen was pitching a freaking no-hitter.
Oh, really?
For 5 innings. But, yeah, then Boch and the Rangers got it done. So I'm kidding, though, about all the comments. We have some interesting thoughts here. Ka Jiang, and I apologize if I'm saying that wrong. He says, what about McGee on offense? I think he was trying to do too much. He was trying to facilitate the ball like Sabonis and doing sky hooks like Kareem. They're doing too much on offense?
Maybe at times, but I think that's why Mike Brown brought him in, actually, is to, facilitate like Sabonis. We talked, last year, when Sabonis went out of the game, they had to change their entire offense. They didn't have a backup big that could do what Sabonis did. And I'm not saying JaVale McGee is Domantas Sabonis, but his playmaking ability is something he's proud of. It's something, he feels like he can do. In fact, he was asked about it on the All the Smoke podcast with Matt Barnes. And he said, it's funny. He said, it's something he likes to do. And, his reputation of sometimes taking wild shots and things like that, getting out of sorts offensively, he said it was because as a big, coaches don't allow you to showcase what you really do. They say block shots, run the floor, and rebound. And he said, during the offseason, trust me, I'm working on my three, my step back game, my handles. That I was, playing guard in high school, all this stuff. And so I think, when he does get out of sorts, it's because, you know what? There's more to his game that he wants to show. I wasn't too upset. I thought JaVale was fantastic last night, especially defensively. So.
Caesar 916 says Davion's a dog. If he can keep his offense consistent, sky's a limit for him.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see more of that consistent shooting.
Yes.
Fingers crossed. Manny Too Legit, love the takes, Drapes, and then your guy, Ultimate Kingpin, again. Let's see. Nobody know 5 says, y'all stop it. We have 78 more games to go. And then your boy, Ultimate Kingpin, says, how many of those 78 are more important than the 2 we already lost? And he says, none of them. So.
Oh, man. Ultimate Kingpin is fired up. These are like the most important games in Kings history based on Ultimate Kingpin's reaction. Mm-hmm. Calm down, young fella. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. Man.
Things will be a lot better when De'Aaron Fox is back. When is he going to be back? De'Aaron spoke to that today. Now, this was after practice?
After practice today, yeah.
Here's De'Aaron Fox talking about when he will return to the lineup.
Whenever it's not hurting or whenever the pain is less than where it is now. I don't want to rush back, but I want to make sure I'm ready.
Yeah, and it's going to be a while, right? I mean, we're hearing.
I don't know. Shams is saying this weekend, maybe, in Houston. And I would be shocked, obviously, the way he went down, had to be pulled out of the game and everything, had to be helped back into the locker room. And we know how sprained ankles are. And like our guy, Ultimate Kingpin said, or nobody knows that, there's 78 more games. And so I don't know if I want to rush him back for these 2 games in Houston.
Yeah, here's De'Aaron Fox describing how much pain he's been in lately.
Oh, like a 4. I feel like it's more like the impact of hitting the ground and pushing back is what hurts. But I feel like I'm almost there. I feel like I'm close.
I don't know. To me, a pro athlete who's had 1 million sprained ankles saying a 4, that's not nothing.
You think that's pretty high, huh? You think that's on the scale of grading it on a curve?
If I'm like a 2, I'm almost back. I don't know. I just think I'm gonna be surprised if he's back anytime really soon. I hope so, but I mean that was what's a severe sprain and it's called
moderate sprain.
Sprain, and the human body can only do so much to recover unless maybe he needs to talk to Aaron Rodgers and get the sounds of dolphins mating and all that. Maybe that would help.
Yeah, maybe some magic cream or something like that. Rub on it. But
I'm expecting the worst and hoping for the best.
I was thinking at 2 weeks probably.
Yeah,
he'd be out.
Yeah.
And so with Shams' report and now De'Aaron talking, it could be this weekend, which is crazy. It won't even be a week on Saturday if he plays against Houston.
That would be incredible.
That would be incredible.
Yeah, and here's De'Aaron on how long he was thinking he would be out.
I mean, I never felt like I was going to miss like 2 or 3 weeks or anything like that. But I knew it would take a few days or a week or so.
So that's De'Aaron Fox
Wow.
today on where he is, where he's feeling. And it looks like there are a lot of indications he could be back this weekend. I'll believe it when I see it, but that sounds great.
And he said a few days or a week. Like, think about that. Like, when he went out, it was like, oh, man, we're thinking about 65-game threshold. Is this going to mess him up? He about only missed 2 games, which is crazy to think about. Like I said before, though, you got to be careful with this. You want to make sure he's healthy, 100%, no pain, because this team can withstand, like we saw it last night. They've proven to me that they can withstand a De'Aaron Fox loss for a couple of games here and there. And so, selfishly, personally, I would sit him out in Houston, bring him back at home against Portland. That gives you, about 10 days in between when you add the injury. And so the fact that he might play this weekend, that scares me a little bit, Whitey. That scares me.
I know what you mean. And I know it could be wrong here because last year Sabonis played through a broken thumb and he looked like he was 100%, didn't he? I mean, he played great.
Looked fine, yeah.
You remember Isaiah Thomas in the finals against the Lakers on a badly sprained ankle.
Yes.
He was phenomenal. So it can happen. Players can play at a high level through these injuries. I just think that the Kings this year, if they're going to get anywhere close to where they hope to get to, they're going to need De'Aaron Fox at 100%.
I agree, and this is not about the short term. This is about the long term.
Right.
This team, if this was April and they were battling for a playoff spot and they needed them, sure, I can see that. But it's a long season. You don't want something that's lingering. Look at Steph Curry early in his careers and all the ankle troubles
there were
he
people
had.
that said they shouldn't have signed him.
Right. It's something that lingered on, and he ultimately, got it taken care of with the the braces and everything. He's good now. But if you're De'Aaron Fox, you don't want to come back too early and then twist it again, and then you're out for a month, let's say. And so I'm worried. I'm nervous about this. And De'Aaron, here's the thing. As great as you are, De'Aaron Fox, Mr. Clutch player, your team is good enough to withstand missing you for a few games, I think. We're in a much better position.
You guys had the graphic last night. Last year without him, and they were 2 under 5, 7 and 9 or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't even know if it was that many games.
No, it wasn't even that.
3 and 5, something like that.
I think it might have been. So he missed 9 games last year. So I think it was 3 and 5, 3 and 6, something like that. 4 and 5, one of those.
Right.
And this is a better team this year. And so if you can go 500 without De'Aaron Fox, slightly above 500, I take that. This isn't a 3-week, 4-week kind of injury. We're talking De'Aaron miss 3 or 4 games. That's all we're asking. We're not just saying go out there, miss 1 game and come back. Miss 3 or 4 games, a week and a half. We should be A-okay, especially against the caliber of competition that we're about to face.
The funny thing about Steph Curry and his ankles is that you've heard the stories, I'm sure, that when the Warriors made that trade, they got Bogut. And for the Bucks, it was, do you want Monte Ellis or do you want Steph?
Think about that.
And the Bucks like, Curry's ankles.
This guy's shot, right? Yeah.
We'll take Monte.
Can you imagine?
They had the choice.
Wow, that's like Jordan and Sam Bowie in them.
It is.
Like
it
back
is.
in the day. Wow.
It's understandable, but you look at the box score, you watch the game, it's pretty clear that in that fourth quarter, one of the reasons the Kings offense started to get derailed a little bit is because they missed Fox.
I was going to ask you, could you noticeably see them missing De'Aaron Fox? But let me ask you this. Yes, De'Aaron Fox is clutch. He's Mr. Fourth Quarter. But for the Kings to be as great as we want them to be, should we have to rely on De'Aaron Fox so much in the fourth? And so other guys got to step up, right?
Yeah, but some of that's got to have to be him having more trust in his teammates. Don't you think?
Yeah. I guess,
I mean, you can't go run up and demand the ball from him.
I guess, and but to your point, he has to realize, especially a guy like Keegan Murray, Kevin Huerter could hit big shots. Like, this team is good enough offensively to still run your sets. And we've seen Kevin Huerter hit big shots this year, last year against Utah at home. And so De'Aaron Fox, the evolution of his game is going to come. Sure, you're clutch, you can get it. But now what's going to happen has started happening. Teams are going to start double teaming you, taking the ball out of your hands late in games. So you have to be able to trust your teammates. And so I'm hoping his teammates will gain some confidence from this stretch. And when he comes back, he can see, you know what? I don't always have to be Mr. Fourth Quarter. I can rely on my teammates.
It's a great point you raised, though, because we're not there yet. Teams haven't forced him to do that. If you're Darren Fox, hey, why should the offense be more diversified? I can get to any spot on the floor I want.
Because when he's out, though, we don't know what to do. We look like chickens with our head cut off on offense sometimes. And so if it was a more natural offense late in games, guys would be more used to, getting the ball in clutch situations, shooting in clutch situations. I know Domantas Sabonis made the shot, but a bank shot from the pretty much close to stretch. That's,
I'm with you.
It's a little too much gas in that.
More diversified offense is just harder to defend.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
When we come back, not to claim a moral victory here, none of that. But there were some bright spots for the Kings last night, despite another spleen-bending defeat to the Dubs. We'll break those down with you next year. Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Can the Niners build off their NFC Championship appearance from last season? How will the quarterbacks perform throughout the year?
Purdy back, now going to throw for the end zone, wide open. Brandon Ayuk is on fire!
Will the defense lead this squad again?
Intercepted! Ball got tipped up and taken by Fred Warner!
Get all your 49er coverage throughout the NFL season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Awesome. Hey, babe, can you check the front door? My package is here.
Yeah, on it. Hey, are we still watching our show tonight?
New episode on Prime? You bet. That reminds me, let's hit Whole Foods this afternoon. We need snack supplies.
From package deliveries to entertainment and even fresh groceries, Amazon is in front of hundreds of thousands of customers every single day. Imagine what you could do if your business had that kind of reach. It's not a dream. Right now, you can take advantage of Amazon's expansive network to benefit your business. Unlock expert insights and tap into the full potential of Amazon. Simply text DIGITAL to 916-766-5105 now. Make the smart move. Text DIGITAL to 916-766-5105. Put the power of Amazon to work for you. Text DIGITAL, that's DIGITAL, to 916-766-5105.
Gold Country Casino Resort proudly presents an unforgettable night of professional boxing on Saturday, November 11th. Our event features a stacked fight card with exciting bouts of live boxing that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Don't miss out on this epic night of boxing action. Tickets are on sale now at goldcountrycasino.com for this exciting event, November 11th at 7 p.m. only at
Gold Country Casino Resort.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber, down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside to Sabonis, a two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
If there's a consensus here amongst our YouTube chatters and text line commenters, it looks like most Kings fans want De'Aaron Fox to take his time and make sure he's 100% before he comes back. Manny Too Legit says Fox should rest for like 2 weeks minimum. Maybe even 2.5 to 3 to be safe. Caesar 916, Fox needs to take more time. Plus, I want to see what the team is really made of. It's an interesting conundrum.
They're not in a dire situation right now, Whitey. Like I said, if this was April, you're battling for a play-in spot or something like that, rush back. But they're not dire. Like, there's a reason why this team is as deep as it is. it should be able to withstand in the short term the loss of one of your star players. And so this is an opportunity for other guys to step up, most notably Davion, our guy Colby Jones. And so, no, I'm cool with De'Aaron missing these next couple of games in Houston.
I understand what you're saying, but I don't have a hard time imagining that come April, the Kings will be battling for either a slot, trying to get higher, or maybe trying to avoid the play-in. My point is that it could come down, home court, even getting in, staying out of the play-in could come down to one game. And the games now count just as much as the ones in April.
All right, so you want to go balls to the wall right now then?
I'm
You
just
want to
saying,
go all in right now?
I don't think you can assume that, it's not a dire situation. Assuming that the games, that's okay. You got time to make up for any shortcomings now. Because in the West this year, and I'm sure this is part of the thing, I'm not saying rush them back, but I'm saying every game is going to be really important this year. It's great from a fan standpoint, but it poses some interesting dilemmas when you're looking at a situation like this.
So let me ask you this then, because, I like to play devil's advocate. I like to push back on pretty much everything you say, Whitey. Just say, I'll just call it in like I see it. Wouldn't you rather De'Aaron be 100% and close to it? Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Now, if he's healthy and he's ready to go and can't re-aggravate it or anything, okay, fine, play it. Get out there and play. But the way it looked Sunday, having to be helped off the court like that, back to the locker room like that, this would be less than a week if he played on Saturday. And so I'm saying take it slow, take it easy right now. The team should be good enough to stem the tide. Injuries are going to happen. Player games are going to be missed. I know Sacramento did a heck of a job last season with the fewest player games missed, but it's going to happen. It's on the other guys, not on De'Aaron Fox to want to come back. It's on the other guys to be like, no, De'Aaron, we got your back. Take your time. We can still win.
Let's say in a few days, De'Aaron Fox says, Coach, I'm good. I'm not feeling pain. I want to play. And let's say that you're Mike Brown and you see him and you can tell he's not quite moving. No matter what he says, I know he's not quite moving. He's helping us. He's playing well, but he's not moving as freely as he was.
I'm not playing. I'm not playing. I go to my medical, the eye test too. You see he's not moving. You talk to the medical staff and whatever they say. And I would not play De'Aaron Fox. Sometimes you got to protect the players
That's
from
what
themselves.
I'm asking you.
Yeah, sometimes you do. Like, we look at what's happening in Phoenix. We know if it was Game 7, Devin Booker would be playing. And if this was the playoffs, Devin Booker would probably be playing. Same thing with De'Aaron Fox. If the playoffs started this weekend, maybe he's playing, but they don't. You have time. You have luxury. And losing games early, hear me out, Whitey. I would rather lose games early and know what you need to do the rest of the way than lose games late. So later games are, to me, much more important because if you go on a 2 or 3 game losing streak in the first 3 weeks of the season, you already know, we got to ratchet it up.
Sure.
We got to play better over these last 65, 70 games or whatever it is.
But obviously, as you win the early games, and then you're not looking at that situation down the road. But I get what you're saying. By the way, and this is neither here nor there as far as what we're talking about now. So I'm not disagreeing with you here. But I read some stories today, maybe you saw them too, that in Phoenix, they're starting to get a little concerned about Bradley Beal's back. That they didn't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Like some damaged goods or something?
They're not sure
or
when
what?
he's coming back.
Wow.
And I'm not saying that they're thinking he can't play all year, but there are some rumblings out of Phoenix that they thought he'd be further along by now. So that's something to keep an eye on. He hasn't played at all yet.
He has not played
He's
at
not supposed
all.
to play tonight.
And he's not going to play tonight. And that's interesting. That's, you make this big trade, you bring him in, he's your guy. And you lift the hood up a little bit. You look at that engine and realize, you know what? He's not. Oh, man, that would be a huge loss. He's out tonight. Devin Booker, they say, is questionable for tonight's game against the Spurs.
Spurs again?
Yeah, they got the Spurs. So keep an eye on that.
As far as last night goes, and I know we've been over this and over this. We went over this yesterday. No moral victories. I understand that, but I think there were some encouraging signs. We talked about some of them. And you had Davion at the top of your list, right?
Yes.
As your most encouraging sign. I thought Davion, very encouraging. Colby Jones was incredibly encouraging last night.
He was. And, to do it in that situation, to do it in that environment against that team, your rival, and kudos to Mike Brown because he gave him extended minutes. It wasn't like 2 or 3 minutes here or there. All right, Kobe, come on out. He gave him time to actually feel a part of the game. And when you have a rookie like that, he's thrown in the fire. A lot of times you will see rookies try to do too much, move too fast. The game didn't look like it was moving fast at all for him. Unflappable Kobe Jones. That's what he was yesterday. And kudos to him, man. I thought he competed hard. And so, like you said, no moral victories. We're not going to talk, but encouraging signs, some bright spots from last night.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. If you want to give us a call, you want to shoot us a text, let's talk to Dave here. Drive Guys, Sactown Sports. Dave, how are you today?
Doing well. How about you, gentlemen?
We're just wondering how we can help you, Dave. That's what we're all
What you
about.
got?
Yeah.
Well, Sabonis shoots 75% from the free throw line last night. We win.
Okay.
He was shooting like 62%. If we can shoot 75% from the free throw line as a team, we will win these real close games because that's a
We shot 78 last night, though.
As a team, yeah.
As a team, 78. In fact, Domas, the only one that missed any. He's really the only one that got to the line more than a couple of times here or there. But, no, I agree with you. You got to knock those down.
You do. And I'm telling you, we lost by the last point. Clay taking that last shot. I was impressed with the way we played defense. We kept Golden State to 102 points. I think we kept Steph under 30. I like the way that the number 13, I can't remember, his name slips me. Keegan Murray.
Yeah,
I like the way he took care of Steph. He was big enough to really block some of those, to hinder those shots, but fast enough to keep him out of the lane, so to speak. Even though we lost and there's no moral victory, if I'm the head coach of that team, I'm not upset. Let's go to Houston and let's win 2 in a row and go from there.
Thank you, Dave. Yeah, and if Dave's a head coach, they're shooting a lot extra.
Right.
Alan made this point during our crossover. Keegan Murray last night, it looked like he did a really good job. Steph Curry struggled with the length that Keegan Murray faced him with. But Keegan he missed all his three-pointers last night. 0 for 7. He was 4 for 15. And they need more from him. I understand it's exhausting to chase Steph Curry all over the place.
Right.
But the way this team is built, without De'Aaron Fox, they need more from Keegan Murray right
now. And we talked yesterday. I said I wanted 28 from him. He only had, 10 points yesterday, 4 of 15 shooting, missed all 7 of his threes.
I think he shot 2 air balls, didn't he?
Yeah, a couple of – and I don't know if he was rushing them. I don't know if he was fatigued or what. He played 40 minutes, close to 40 minutes. That's a lot of minutes. And that's what makes the great players great, though, right? Because they could do it on both ends, high minute count. And I think this was a learning thing for Keegan Murray. It's something he can grow and learn from, because if you're going to be charged with guarding the best player and you're a great offensive player, you still got to deliver on that side. And that's why it's so hard to be a two-way player in this league, because – I was
exhausted.
You're exhausted. And, Ron Adams, I keep going back to my guy, Ron Adams, assistant coach with the Warriors. And he said, NBA teams, what you want to do is have as many two-way players as you can. The more two-way players you have, the better defensively you can be. And right now, we don't have a whole lot of two-way players, guys who can do it at a high level on both ends. De'Aaron Fox, he's one of them. I'd like to see Keegan Murray get there too.
Davion maybe can become one of those guys. He's not there yet.
Yeah. To me, there's no reason why Davion can't average 10 points a game on this team. He's getting the opportunities. He just has to stop being shy. He has to put the ball up. And I thought he did a great job of that last night. But still, 1, 2, 3, he tied for the 4th most shots on the team. Okay, I'm okay. But I'd like to see him last night in that 12 to 15 range, getting those shots up.
How good of a defender Fox can be is one of the absolute keys to how good this team can become.
Right. And when you think about it, and Mike Brown is challenging him all the time, they need him to be an elite two-way player, because you're counting on Davion Mitchell, but he's a reserve player. They need somebody in that starting lineup to be able to guard the perimeter's best player. And De'Aaron Fox can be that. JaVale McGee talked about how he didn't know De'Aaron was such a great defender. His speed, quickness, his hands. Like, he can be that dude. Like, there's no reason why De'Aaron Fox shouldn't average better than 2 steals per game. Like, he should be among the league leaders in steals night in and night out.
Let me go back to the phones real quick here, Jay. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Mitch has been hanging on. Hey, Mitch, you're on with the Drive Guys. How are you?
Good, guys. How we doing? Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, what's up?
What's up, Mitch?
We play a very good game. I know these two teams are in the top 5. I think I like our depth. Play good. I just wish Barnes would show up more often like he did in game 1. And I think the season's looking good.
Thank you, Mitch.
I'm happy with Mitchell.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Mitch.
Interesting point about Harrison Barnes. Yeah, he had 8 shots last night, 14 points. And it's interesting, as Mitch points out, because, game 1 in Utah, which is another game you did. I mean, Harrison Barnes, it was the Harrison Barnes party.
Yes, and he had some big shots. He had some big threes, I thought, in that game. But the fact that he only had 1 rebound, it was 1 offensive rebound, led to a bucket. I know they scored on that play, and only 1 assist. And so I don't want to, look at the box score and dictate whether a guy had a good game or not, but on a night when De'Aaron Fox is out, I said everybody got to raise up just a little bit. And it might not be scoring, Whitey. It could be rebounds. It could be defense. And so, I wanted Harrison Barnes to do a little bit more last night. Fine stat line, 14 points on 4 of 8 shooting.
Right,
but
very efficient.
He could get that when De'Aaron Fox is playing, though. It's not like so I needed more from him last night.
He's another guy, not to make excuses, but at the defensive end, he was very busy last night.
Yes. And, the Warriors put so much pressure on you. Their offense is so crisp, so clean. When you look at it, they only scored 102 points, but they had 32 assists on 39 made field goals. Like, they moved the ball. And there was this one possession, and I was on the call for it. And I said, this is great Kings defense. Kings played great defense for about 22, 23 seconds. And then all of a sudden, Draymond gets free underneath. And so give the Warriors credit, man. They put so much pressure on your defense.
We're taking a quick timeout and coming right back with unpleasant truths about the Kings' tough loss. Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Nothing slows my little girl down, except a stuffy nose.
Mommy.
That's why I use Sinex Children's Saline from Vicks. Sinex instantly clears mucus in everyday stuffy little noses with a gentle, ultra-fine mist designed for kids. Just Sinex? Breathe. Her stuffy nose is gone for now. And so is she.
Sinex Children's Saline. Sinex, breathe. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
The Drive Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Eric S. on the chat says, I remember that call, Kyle. Yeah.
Yeah, you remember that one, right? I felt like I jinxed him. I'm like, this is excellent defense. Mike Brown got to be. And then Draymond scored, and I was like, oh, my gosh.
Yeah. I know that some people have looked at Kevin Huerter's box score and his line in the box score and said, 9 rebounds, but what does that do for me? But, and he needs to shoot the ball better. But as you know, almost every successful defensive possession ends with a rebound.
Yes.
And 9 rebounds against the Warriors is significant, especially because he had 2 at the offensive end too. So he is finding other ways to contribute while we still wait for his shot to show up.
Right.
But I'm done waiting. Let's go.
Come on, Whitey. What do you want the guy to do? Knock down shots, huh? Right? But I thought Kevin Huerter, when you watch this, and Kings fans out there, ignore the box score. The box score will say 9 rebounds. But to me, 9 rebounds is indicative of a very active, engaged in the mix, Kevin Huerter. And that's all. Shots, I want them to fall too. 4 of 11 last night for Kevin Huerter. I want him to start knocking them down. But what I saw last night and in the game against the Lakers is a lot different than what we saw in the preseason when he was struggling. Like in the preseason, he looked lost out there at times defensively. These last couple of games, he's engaged, he's competing, the effort is there. And as a coach, that's all you can ask for. You live and die with guys making or missing shots, but you at least got to play hard. And Kevin Huerter's battling out there right now.
You're right, but I said I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about unpleasant truths about the Kings right now.
Let's get real. Let's get real.
But yeah, let's not pretend that, they lost, but that's okay. Everything's great. And here's one. Kevin Huerter played better against the Lakers, and there was kind of a narrative that it was his coming out party and he broke out of his slump. Well, he didn't. He had a better game, right? I mean, I'm not criticizing. I'm not coming after him. He was an excellent player last year.
Man.
No,
I don't
it's
know.
not his fault. I'm just saying we can't pretend that against the Lakers it's like, oh, okay, he's fine now. He was better, but it's still an issue. He still needs to start making shots.
No, you're 100% right. And, we were hoping that the Lakers game would cure him. And he had a chance to prove whether he was cured and, shooting better last night against Golden State. But he didn't do it. And so the struggles are still there. 1 of 5 from 3-point range.
Question his
4 of
effort.
11.
It's just they need him
to make shots. Yes. Kevin Huerter, as great as De'Aaron and Domas was last season, Kevin Huerter was tremendous last season as well. And so for this Kings team to reach its potential, he has to make shots. He has to be a threat out there, and they need 10 to 15 points every single night. I need 3 or 4 threes every single night from Kevin Huerter.
Mm-hmm. Now I'm seeing some comments on the chat about Sabonis this, Sabonis that. I don't have any issues with Domas Sabonis. We know what he is defensively.
Yeah.
He struggles, but last night he tried to do more offensively. I'm sure if you asked him, he would tell you there's a couple shots that he probably should have made that he didn't make, but he did his job last night.
He did his job, and here's the thing, Whitey. When you look at Domantas Sabonis, you'll see the 23, the 11, and 8, the 16 shot attempts. But what about the 12 free throw attempts as well? Mm-hmm. That shows me he's active, engaged, and he's into it.
Yeah, we have a Domas quote here from last night. If we can get to that, Jay. Just Domas last night talking about how the Warriors made him do things that they don't normally do. Domas Sabonis last night after the Kings loss.
Like I said last time we played against them, they really make us work on things we haven't worked on and try and make us better as a team. And today I felt like we played good. We played good defense throughout the whole game. And, we just came up short.
Yeah, they pushed the Kings out of their comfort level a little bit. And that happens both ways because, as we know, hardly a newsflash, these teams know each other so well.
Right. They know, they've played each other. I had the stat yesterday. 13 out of the last 22 or something crazy.
Yeah, he said, I don't think that's ever been done before.
Yeah, exactly. And so, no, the Warriors understand, but I didn't like what Domas just said right there because they pushed us out of our comfort zone. Don't let them push you out of you got to dictate things. And are we going to keep saying, we said that in game 7. We said that last Friday as well. When is the time going to come where
Kings are dictating?
Right,
things.
Exactly. Come on, man. That's why I'm so frustrated about last night. It wasn't, Klay Thompson hitting the bucket or anything like that. He just said they pushed us out of our comfort zone. You would think after seeing this team a billion times, you wouldn't let that happen.
Here's another, to me, unpleasant truth. Malik Monk was very good last night, did a lot of things the Kings needed him to do, but Malik Monk as a point guard, especially now he's got to play more point guard with De'Aaron Fox out, his lack of experience, to me, shows. He had a crucial turnover with about 10 minutes to go where he didn't know how much time was left on the shot clock. De'Aaron Fox out means Malik Monk, point guard, really has to be probably a little better than he is right now, frankly. He's not a great point guard. and that's just going to be the way it is for a while. You're not with me on that?
You're nitpicking right now. When you say he's not going to be a great point guard, that's not who he is.
Right.
He's not going to be De'Aaron Fox.
He had 3 turnovers last. That's nitpicky, I know, but there's times when
Steph Curry had 7 turnovers last night. We don't look at the box score, Whitey. Come on.
I watched the game, and I'm just the numbers tell you what you saw. Malik Monk over dribbled a little bit. They have a hard time. He has a hard time getting them into their offense.
I'm not going to take one game and make an indictment on whether Malik Monk needs to be a better point guard or not. I could say the same thing. Steph Curry needs to be a better point guard. Those 7 turnovers last night. We've seen Malik play extremely well at a high level.
Yes.
A few nights ago against the Lakers. And let's not forget, you're not talking about your starting point guard. He's not benched.
I know that.
He only played 25 minutes last night. Davion played 30 last night.
I'm not going after him saying he needs to do this better, but I'm saying this is the reality of where the Kings are right now. They're relying on a guy who is not nearly their best point guard to get them into their offense. And it's part of the problem they're in right now, the uncomfortable situation with De'Aaron Fox out.
I would love to know how many minutes he spent on the floor with Davion. How many minutes were they actually point guard minutes, if you will? And so, that's why I disagree with you, because I don't know if he was in charge of the offense. He only played 25 minutes. Now, if he played 30, 35 minutes, Davion played 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And let's not also forget that this Kings offense is being run through Domantas Sabonis.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Malik really isn't, even if he is starting at that position, Davion, if he is starting, isn't really a true point guard in the sense of the word.
I just think they need him to have a little cleaner handle. And it's tough for him because, like I say, he hasn't played a lot of point guard. All right, we disagree on that one.
Yeah, I just think last night was its own thing. I've seen him play at a high level in that role before, and so I'm not going to nitpick over last night.
Here, I think he did it last night, and he did it. Was it against the Warriors or against the Lakers at home? Where he jumps into the air and throws a pass, and then does the thing where he comes down and he doesn't want to touch the ball. Right. I mean, you've seen that. To me, it's a reflection of he hasn't played a ton of point guard. I'm sure he'll get better as he plays more of it. You thought, if I'm not mistaken, not to put words in your mouth, that we're maybe giving the Kings more credit for their defensive effort than we should be for last night.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the defensive effort was there, but let's not forget, I stated the stats. The Warriors shot 54% from the field in the first, second, and fourth quarters combined. So as great a defense that you played, the Warriors still made shots. Now, what the Kings were able to do is force turnovers. They did a great job at that. And I also thought when you play at the pace the Warriors play, you have so much movement, turnovers inherently come within it.
Yes.
Let me ask you this. Here's a quick question here. This is a test I want.
All right.
Did the Kings play better last night against the Warriors or Friday against the Warriors?
Are we talking overall or just defensively?
Defensively.
I would say they played better last night defensively.
Friday, the Warriors had 19 turnovers. Last night, the Warriors had 18. Last night, like I said, the Warriors shot 6 of 20 from in the third period, but 55% in the fourth, 54% in the other 3 quarters outside of the third. And so the eye test says they played better defense, but the numbers actually don't suggest that.
Depends which numbers you're looking at. The Warriors shooting numbers Friday were through the roof.
They were through the roof last night. They shot 48% for the game. Take out that third quarter when they were 6 of 20, they shot 54%.
Okay, but the number, I mean, it's just a fact. The numbers they put up last night aren't close to what they put up Friday night, the Warriors.
And I can argue the pace was different in that game. Look at the shot attempts, too. So last night, the Kings shot, Warriors shot 87 shots the other night against Friday night.
And at 81 last night.
And they shot 81 last night. They shot 48% for the game.
Right.
But take out the third quarter when they were 6 of 20. They shot 54%. And so what I'm saying is the defense was better, yes, but it was not consistent.
Right.
It was, there was a lot to be desired, a lot left to be desired defensively for the Kings. They looked active, they got after it, but the Warriors still made shots. They still shot 48%. If a team shoots 48% against you, I'm not happy with that, Righty. That's not good enough for me.
But Friday night they were 50 something. So
they were 50 something. Friday night.
They made more than half their shots, and I think they made.
But they were 38.5% in the first quarter. Talking about Golden State. Then they got going in the second and third quarters. And so what I'm saying is, the defensive effort, sure, it looks good, but they need to be consistently better. It needs to be not a full 48, but it can't be 26 minutes. It can't be 30 minutes. I need 40 minutes of great. Like, I would like the Warriors to shoot 53% in one quarter, and then the other quarters struggle. That's where we need to get to.
I agree with that, but I'd also say for this team to show any improvement defensively, it's like, yes, that's a good sign because it's so important for them to continue to get better there. More consistency would be better, but last night I thought last two games, to me, there were some good signs defensively.
They competed defensively, no doubt about it, no doubt.
We'll take a quick timeout. When we come back, here is the key question. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. As a Kings fan, were you more encouraged? Yeah, it's okay. Or discouraged by last night's loss? It's next with the Drive Guys, Kyle Draper, Whitey Gleason on Sactown Sports.
What's the latest with the San Francisco 49ers? Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross keep you up to date on all things red and gold during the Niners at 9 every weekday at 9 a.m. on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Thursday forecast looks mostly sunny with light winds and temperatures this afternoon mild. Plan for highs in the mid-70s with overnight lows in the low 50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Imagine taking a nice warm bath in your shower. Let us fix that. Right now, get that clogged drain unclogged for just $97. Bonnie, plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air. Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 696-355.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave letting you know Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room and primetime football location is back. Cap Casino giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Check it out. Capital Casino. And as always, please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Oh, I love this restaurant. Glad we got a table quickly. What does that sign say? Caution, wet floor? No, right next to it. If you are 60 or older, you may be at increased risk of serious consequences from RSV, respiratory syncytial virus, compared to adults younger than 60. I didn't know that.
Not all dangers come with warning labels. Talk to your pharmacist or doctor about getting vaccinated against RSV today. RSV vaccines, including Pfizer's, are available. Learn more at bewareofrsv.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
Get your retirement savings to play ball with your retirement plan. Call Cap Trust today at 916-924-7527 or log on to captrust.com.
It's time to trade in and trade up at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com. It's all a click away.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own one report.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The Drive Guys, live and local, every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
So if you're a Kings fan, should you be more encouraged or discouraged by the result last night? That was a tough one. I think maybe it's useful to take your cues from the coach. We'll hear what Mike Brown had to say after the game in just a moment here. Buddy Gleason and Kyle Draper.
Yes.
Kyle, you got to be just so nervous right now with your Eagles getting ready to play the Dallas Cowboys.
No,
are you not sleeping, or how are you dealing with that stress?
I am A-okay. I forgot they were even playing the Cowboys. I'm looking ahead. Dallas, they're not ready to come. If this game was in Dallas, maybe I would lose a couple of minutes of sleep or something like that.
Cowboys.
Dallas actually, a game and a half back. You win this week against Philly. Now you're only a half a game back. I just can't see my Eagles losing at home to Dallas. Dallas is, they're borderline right now. It could go either way. 1 week they could get smoked 42-10. Next week
sounds
they
a little scared to me.
Do I really?
No.
Do I really? You know
No.
why you're all comfortable and confident and feeling good? Because for the first time in 4 weeks, the Niners won't lose. Right?
They might find a way on their bye week. They're going to give up 160 yards rushing on their bye week or something. Yeah. I saw something interesting today that the Cowboys are just not the same when they're playing on natural grass as when they play on turf.
Really?
Yeah. And I forget who wrote that, but because you guys have natural grass in Philly, right?
Yeah, I think so. And, I could also argue with you that the Dallas Cowboys are not the same team when they play a good team. When they play another good team.
Yeah, but Dak has ownage on the Eagles.
No, but this Eagles team is different. This is a new year. Like, what are 8-3? I think you brought it up.
Yeah.
But look at their wins. Giants, Jets early on, too, when Zach Wilson was really struggling. Patriots.
Wait, you said the Cowboys beat the Jets?
Yeah.
And you're saying they shouldn't be proud of that? What did the Eagles do against
No,
the
the Jets were a better team in week 5 when the Eagles played. It was a different week. The Jets were just reeling. Yeah, they were reeling.
They play them in the same week.
Right. They were reeling from the Aaron Rodgers injury and everything like that. They beat the Chargers and they beat the Rams. Like, that's nothing to write home about. That's exactly. And so
what is your team? And I'm not coming after you.
No,
your
you can't
biggest
come after
win, would it be the Miami game?
Oh, of course. That was a statement win, if you will. The way they mollywopped.
They did. They shut them down.
They shut them down. To hold that offense, I'm talking about the Dolphins' offense to just 10 points. Because remember, the Dolphins had the pick 6 for a touchdown.
Right.
To hold that offense to 10 points, I think that was a great win for Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
hopefully
their
we'll get some good games this weekend. We have Thursday night football tonight. The Titans against the Steelers. So
yeah,
good luck with that one.
Kenny Pickett's supposed to play, right? Is that
but it's all about Will Levis.
Yeah,
He's the
I
man
love
right
Will
now.
Levis, my guy from the University of Kentucky, looking great. 4 touchdowns last week. Come
Apparently
on.
he loves mayonnaise.
Really?
Yeah, has some kind of thing about
I
mayonnaise.
used to like mayonnaise as a kid. Now just the word mayonnaise just makes me like,
Now in Philly, is it Hellman's mayonnaise? But out
Hellman's,
here, it's
yeah.
Best Foods.
What is Best Foods?
It's the same thing.
That sounds generic to me.
I know. I don't know why
Right?
that is. It's the same thing. I think they just it has a different name.
Really?
backwards. Yeah, that's what I've heard. It's the same stuff.
I don't understand. Best Foods sounds like generic, right? Like
It does. It does.
it's the knockoff brand of Hellman's,
Right,
you know?
right.
So that's interesting. I never knew that.
Yeah. So yeah, Thursday night football
All
coming
right.
up 4:30. Last night, Warriors over the Kings 102-101. Here's Mike Brown after the game. He says the Kings, they played the Warriors 15 times in the last week, whatever it is. Says they did their best job so far guarding number 30.
You're not stopping Steph Curry, but the reality of it is this is the best job I think we've ever done on Steph. And he was probably off or tired, I don't know, but you got to give Keegan some credit for trying to step up and making Steph work for whatever he got, and you just keep it moving till the next day. But I'm proud of the effort that Keegan tried to give on that end of the floor and the results from it, and just see if he can continue doing it.
Last one.
Yeah, so again,
Yes.
what I'm trying to do here is gauge from the coach, if you're a Kings fan, is he discouraged or encouraged? And that definitely, as far as that goes, Coach Brown was definitely encouraged.
Yeah, he sounded encouraged there, right? The defensive effort against Steph Curry, Keegan Murray being asked to guard number 30. Like, think about this. When you look at Keegan Murray, 6'8", long, big, but I don't know if he fits the prototypical shutdown defender, wing defender. And now they're asking him to guard Steph Curry. And so I think that's a bold move by Mike Brown, but one that will pay off as the season goes on because you'll see the growth. I thought he did a tremendous job last night on Steph.
More thoughts from Coach Brown last night after the game on the Kings team defense.
We played a little bit more physical tonight. I think we're getting better in that area. Offensively, obviously, we didn't shoot the ball well, but when you don't shoot the ball well, if you defend, you at least give yourself a chance. And I thought our guys tried to do that, which in turn gave us a chance down the stretch.
It's interesting. He said they tried.
They tried to do that. He didn't say they did it.
Right.
They tried to do it.
Yeah.
And I think the effort was there. But, when you look at last night's game, Whitey, look at the points in the paint. Where's 46? They beat you on the points in the paint. Warriors don't have no paint, and so how many, and I know the Warriors offense puts a lot of pressure on you defensively, and there's going to be some breakdowns. But, to me, that's what they have last week. I think they have 44 on Friday as well, points in the paint.
But it's like you pointed out, the Kings points in the paint, they were 19 of 41
right.
in the paint.
In the paint. Below 50% in the paint. That's unheard of, right?
Yeah. And I know I mentioned this earlier. I happened to check the shot chart because I watched the games like, man, they missed a lot of shots at the rim. And from just below the foul line, but inside the bottom of the circle in that little area, so that's 10 to 15 feet, they were 0 for 7. They didn't make anything there.
And that should be money too, right? That should be, that little 10 to 12 foot range. That should be money for them. And, and you said it yesterday, to beat the Warriors, and they nearly did that.
Mm-hmm.
You still got to make some shots, and the Kings didn't make shots last night.
So Mike Brown, it's interesting. He's so sparing with his praise on defense, but he did say that physically we're getting more physical.
Mm-hmm.
So I think overall there, to me, I think as much as that loss hurt him, I think he was encouraged by what he saw defensively.
Yeah, exactly.
And the progress they're making, at least it looks like that.
Yeah, and in the game when you have no De'Aaron Fox, and to do what you did to Steph Curry. Steph was, pretty non-existent other than he had that stretch into the third, beginning of the fourth, I think it was. He had 7 in the fourth. He got cooking just a little bit, not a whole lot, just a little bit. Hit a big 3. Mike Brown immediately called a timeout. But you're seeing the growth defensively. And, and somebody pointed it out in the YouTube chat. Eric S. Kyle, the eye test tells us that they played harder last night. And that's 100% true. Like, the numbers may not always suggest, like I pointed out, 54% over 3 quarters, 3 out of the 4 quarters. But the eye test showed me, Golden State had to earn whatever they got last night.
Mm-hmm. Campio says the Kings played well, but they must value free throws and rebounding the ball. They rebounded.
They did a hell of a job yesterday.
They battered the Warriors on the backboards. But, and as we've said 100 times now, overall, the Kings shot a good percentage from the foul line last night, but those 2 Sabonis misses really hurt.
Yeah, and he was the only guy that missed any free throws. He was 7 of 12 last night, and the crowd got on him, obviously, last night. But, as a team, they shot 78%. But to your point, you said something earlier. It's not about whether you make them or not. It's when you when you need to make them, you got to make them. And Sabonis needed to make 2 last night. He missed 2, and I think that hurt him, obviously. But these are little things that, you didn't make them tonight. Next time you'll make them. And so I'm encouraged by what I saw. I'm not giving them any moral victories, or anything like that. But there was, I think, more positive, more good that came out of last night's game than bad.
We got one more here. This is Malik Monk after the game pointing out that the fact of the matter is right now anyway, maybe it changes next time they play, but right now the Warriors just have the Kings number.
We relaxed, they hit us in the mouth. So they got our numbers right now.
Yeah, they certainly do.
Wow, that was to the point. They got our number right now.
We relaxed. What do you think of that? We relaxed. They hit us in the mouth.
That's what I'm talking about, Whitey. You can't relax. Not against the Golden State Warriors. You can relax against Detroit, Charlotte, somebody like that, but not on the road against Golden State because they're relentless. They keep coming at you. And the fact that they can score in bunches, they can go on runs in bunches like that, you can't. That's what's so frustrating about last night. Things Sabonis said earlier, they forced us, out of our comfort zone. What Malik said just now, it's like, no, guys, we've seen this before. When are you going to learn? You've now lost, 9 out of your last 13 to the Golden State Warriors. Mm-hmm. You got to do a better job. And so that's what's so frustrating for me.
And that was the one last night. That was the one that the Warriors pretty much gift wrapped for you. And here you go. And
it didn't take a Herculean effort from Steph Curry. Like, nobody really played amazingly for Golden State. That was the time to pick them off, the time to get them, and you still couldn't do it.
I'm with you, though. As discouraging as that loss was, who knows? Maybe when all is said and done, maybe that'll be a game we look back on. If they just won that game, who knows? But right now, given the fact that they had no De'Aaron Fox, they nearly won, and their coach was happy with the level of physicality on defense, I think it was more encouraging than discouraging.
No, I'm 100% agree with you. I wake up this morning thinking through 4 games, I know who our Kings are. They're a good team. These first 4 games, sure, you want a better record than 2-2. You want to beat the Golden State Warriors, obviously, but nothing that happened last night made me think, we're in trouble. We're going to take a step back or any, in fact, I feel like, okay, De'Aaron Fox, you're going to miss a few games, but we still should win these games in Houston if De'Aaron Fox is out.
Coming up next, tell you why Domas is being compared to one of the game's all-time greats today. When the Drive Guys come right back on Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Nature Wood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Individual rates, offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all states and situations.
Hey, small business owner. Are you ready to have the best year ever in 2024? When's the last time you checked your workers' comp rate? For many small businesses, workers' comp insurance is one of their biggest costs. But Pi Insurance could save you up to 30% in just 3 minutes. Go to trypi.com, share a few details about your business, and get a quote that's customized for your business. No hassles or hidden fees. We know you're busy, but spending just a few minutes to check your rate could make this your best year ever. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified. See how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote at trypi.com. That's trypie.com.
Red Hawk Resort Casino is an entertainment experience like no other. We're the only place where you can play blackjack, then hop on an indoor car track. We're the only place with more than 2,000 of the hottest slots and a state-of-the-art 18-lane bowling center. And now with a world-class sports bar and a resort hotel to stay after you play. Is it any wonder we've been voted best over 100 times? We're Red Hawk Resort Casino, official casino partner of the Sacramento Kings.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
I was in foot pain for 20 years, trying to give it relief, buying all these different insoles, drugstore insoles, custom insoles. I spent thousands of dollars. I bought all these products and not a single one worked. I really, truly needed to have relief in my feet. And the Good Feet arch supports were what gave me the relief I needed.
For over 20 years, we've been helping people like Teresa actually live the life they love without their feet getting in the way.
They wanted to make sure that I got something that my feet felt good in, not somebody else's feet. I love the fact that I can wear these arch supports in all my shoes. I have boots, I have cowboy boots, I have running shoes, I have walking shoes, I have flat shoes, I have heels. Makes me so happy. If you ask my husband, he will crack up because there is no store I would rather go in than a shoe store. I'm Teresa, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Knee, hip, foot, leg, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Most people know that the term birdie in golf refers to a score of 1 under par, but where did the term originate? According to Scottish Golf History website, it comes from the early 20th century American slang term bird, which meant anything excellent. While a 1911 edition of Maclean magazine described a golf shot as bird straight down the course about 215 yards, the country club in Atlantic City lays claim to the first use of the word birdie. In 1898, A.B. Smith was playing the par 4 second hole when his second shot went within inches of the hole. That was a bird of a shot, he said, and claimed he should get double money if he scored 1 under par. He did indeed hold his putt, and the group thereafter referred to such a score as a birdie. In 1913, acclaimed writer Bernard Darwin wrote in the September issue of Country Life of his visit to America. He explained that it takes a day or two for the English onlooker to understand that a birdie is a hole done in a stroke under par. And now you know. That's Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
You know what? James Harden said some things today that we have to.
James Harden.
Thank you, Kyle, for catching that. He's still James Harden, isn't he?
He's still that dude, man. He still think he's Houston James Harden. That's the problem, right?
I mentioned Domas, and he's being compared to one of the game's all-time greats today. He's being compared statistically to one of the all-time greats in Sacramento Kings history, which, of course, includes the Cincinnati Royals and the Kansas City Kings. Domas has recorded his 4th straight game now with at least 10 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists. He joins Oscar Robertson in 1960 and 1961 as the only players in franchise history with 10, 10, and 5 in the first 4 games of a season. That's pretty good.
That is darn good.
Oscar did a lot better than 10, 10, and 5, but but that's okay. That's he now joins the Big O as the only guys to have done that. Oscar had 35 and 15, 32 and 12, 30 and 14, and 26 and 11.
Ridiculous.
In 1961.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
And, Domas is off to a great start, especially after that playoff series. I've been impressed by what I've seen from him so far. The rebounding numbers are up. Still not taking a whole lot of threes.
Right.
Took one yesterday.
And they're giving him to
one
him.
and they're giving him to him. That's the thing. And that's one thing he talked to, me about. I'm sure he talked to you guys on Media Day is about he has to shoot that, improve his shooting, work on that. And I think, the thing about Domas, he's such an unselfish player. He took 16 shots, got to the line 12 times, 12. But you know what? I'm okay if he shoots 21, 22 shots, especially because he's such a high field goal percentage kind of guy. Last year
he takes good shots.
Good shots. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I would like to see him be a little more aggressive, to be honest with you, especially without De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah, it's clear, isn't it? It's just not his nature to force shots.
Right. Exactly. And, I will say, watching him last night, what did you think of him last night? Like, I thought he was giving the business to Looney. Remember that one move? He went, caught the ball, went up aggressive in the basket, chest to chest with Looney, and Looney went sprawling to the floor. Like, I thought he was physical and aggressive against Looney last night.
Yeah, I did too. And I thought he tried to fill some of the void created by De'Aaron Fox's absence. I just thought like a lot of guys, I thought there was about 3 or 4 shots for him that that if you asked him, he'd say, I don't know why I missed. I don't know how I missed that.
Yeah. And also staying on Domas, I thought in the second half, there were a number of foul line jumpers that he could have taken.
Yep.
And he passed up a few shots. I thought there was one time, and I think I said it on the broadcast, he was at the top of the key and Looney was on him. And then Looney just started backing up into the paint. And, those are the times, and Domas handed it off. I think it was Keegan or Kevin coming off the dribble handoff. But those are the times where either A, you shoot that shot, or B, you take up that space and you go at him. Don't let Kevon Looney just sit there and play free safety in defense or middle linebacker in defense. You got to put the pressure on him.
Yeah, it's a very fine line. If you know basketball, if you've ever played or watched it a long time, you know this. It's a very fine line between passing up a shot that is not a good shot and passing up a shot that is a good shot and totally disrupts the rest of your possession.
Right, exactly. And so I would like to see him a 15 to 20 shot attempt guy per season. I mean, per game. Like he's that good. And so I said it before, he's going to get you to 19, 12, and 7. But man, if he could take it up to 22, 13, and 7 or something like that.
Can we get some Oscar Robertson numbers from
him?
him?
Yeah, exactly. Let me just get one game for Oscar Robertson. That would be amazing for Domas. Give me a 30-piece.
And he shot, 30, not Oscar, but Domas shot 37%
from 3 last season.
Didn't take a lot.
Did not take a lot.
I mean, that's going to, at the very least, keep the other team honest, as they say.
Yeah, I agree. And, you talk about being exposed last season. One of the areas in which, DeMontis was exposed in the Kings offense was Looney backing away and him not taking the shot. And so it's just like a point guard that can't shoot. When you shoot the ball and you start making a few, then the defense has to respect that and come out. Now Looney would have to come out, and it opens up everything else for your offense. And so, we'll see as the season goes on. Look for Domas, because right now I'm looking at some of his numbers right here. 1.5 threes attempted per game, but 1 in each of his last 2 games. I'm looking at this as a rookie. He took 2 threes per game. As a rookie. In his 5th year, he took 2.6. Last year, he took 1.1. So you would think in today's era of basketball and big shooting threes, that number would go up, but it's not happening with him right now.
What kind of impact do you think James Harden's going to have on the Clipper offense?
You know what?
He's going to tell us in just a minute. We want to get your views before we hear from the beard.
As Russell Westbrook said last night, I don't know. He was asked about it last night. Westbrook I don't know. I can't tell the future. It's going to be some good, some bad, some ugly. I have no idea what James Harden's going to do in this Clippers uniform.
So P.J. Tucker played last night, but Harden didn't, right?
Yeah, Harden got to get himself in shape.
And Lakers,
game shape.
The Lakers won in overtime.
That was a great game, yeah.
So this is today, right?
Yes,
this is James Harden talking about well, it's a great line in here. We'll just let you enjoy the wisdom of James Harden.
When I meant unleash, I'm not meant just shooting the basketball every time. I meant I think the game and I'm a creator on the court. You know what I mean? So if I got a voice to where I can, hey coach, I see this, what you think about this? Then it's like, oh, okay. Like somebody that trusts me, that believes in me, that understands me, that I'm just not I'm not a system player. I am a system. You know what I mean? So somebody that can have that dialogue with me and understand and move forward and figure out and make adjustments on the fly throughout the course of games, that's all I really care about. It's not about me scoring the basketball, scoring 30, 34 points. I've done it already. So that's what I meant by that.
I just hope Brock Purdy heard that and he says it too. I'm not a system player. I am a system.
I am the system. That's awesome. I love it. And
what could go wrong?
Now it's the Clippers' problem, right?
Yeah.
Think about that. And I didn't get to watch the game last night. I listened to it on my drive back. The Clippers actually looked pretty good last night, and I don't know if they actually need James Harden. So this move, I don't know if this moves the needle in a positive way for them.
Yeah, that's why the only thing I can think of, and maybe it's wrong, the only thing I can think of is they said, our stars are hurt so much, we better have an insurance policy.
Right.
So if Kawhi's out, maybe then we'll have Harden. I don't know, because other than that, yeah, I'm with you. I don't see the need.
He's not a system player. He is a system, though. Think about that. He is a system. What does that even mean? What does that mean, James Harden? Explain yourself.
Huh.
Oh, my God.
But if we had that quote and you didn't know who said it, and we asked you what NBA player said this, would you have been able to guess?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I would say either James Harden or Kyrie Irving. Those would be the two that come to mind.
Last night's loss spoiled a masterful defensive scheme from Mike Brown. We'll kick that around next year. Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam Team, Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
It's time now for the Silver and Black Report, brought to you by ACR Home Services. For all your roofing and solar needs, visit acrhomeservices.com. Major changes in Vegas. Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler were fired from their coaching and GM duties. McDaniels was just 9-16 in a season and a half. Linebacker coach Antonio Pierce takes over on an interim role. Since Mark Davis took over control of the team in 2011, the head coaching list: Hugh Jackson, Dennis Allen, Tony Sperano, Jack Del Rio, John Gruden, Rich Bisaccia, and Josh McDaniels. That is your Silver and Black Report. Let ACR Home Services be your one-stop shop for all your home needs, starting with unbeatable roofing services. Right now, get a new roof and receive $1,000 off that roof. So sign up today and save with no payment for up to 12 months. And ACR is more than just a roofing company. Whether it's roofing, solar, electrical work, you name it, when you choose ACR Home Services, you're not just getting a contractor, you're partnering with a team that's invested in your satisfaction. That's ACR Home Services.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma. I'm at risk too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just 1 dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave letting you know Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room and primetime football location is back. Cap Casino giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Check it out, Capital Casino. And as always, please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your new home for 49ers football in the 916.
Sactown Sports.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
That's right. We are the home of the 49ers. This week,
Yes.
49er fans can just bask in the afterglow of that Chase Young trade. Know that the team's getting healthy. Know that they'll be back after the bye week to start destroying the rest of the NFL, which is what Kyle Shanahan teams typically do.
Mike Shanahan, too, back in the day.
Yeah, thank you.
Right?
Thank you. I appreciate that. Kyle Shanahan teams typically get on a roll right about starting from here.
And they need it. And that's why if I'm a Niners fan, I would be hopeful. All is not lost. A lot of football left to be played. Reinforcements on the way, bye week, hit the reset button. So calm down, Niners fans. It'll be okay.
Can I be honest with you?
You're worried.
I don't think they did enough. Chase Young is like, that's nice, but I hope it's
How
enough,
does this team have this many holes then, Whitey? What happened? What went wrong?
I don't know, but Chase Young, can he help stop the run? I know John Lynch says, he's a complete football player. He's not just a pass rusher. So I hope he's right, but somebody in the secondary, I would have felt a little better about things, but we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll
see.
In
It's
Brock we trust.
Right. And Debo says he's coming back.
There you go.
Debo says he's good to go. So it'll be okay, man. Don't panic yet.
I want Trent Williams back. I think that's going to go a long ways towards once you start running the ball, get things, as I like to say, get things tilted in your direction again.
Right.
But obviously coming back against Jacksonville out of the bye, that's
at Jacksonville too.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, they're playing well. We've got Thursday night football tonight. It's Titans against the Steelers. So the Will Levis show, can he keep it going tonight? We will find out. On the text line here, 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. People still asking Kyle questions, talking about the Kings game last night. Tough loss, as you know. Here's an interesting one. I haven't heard a lot of this from the 530. Am I the only one who thought the officiating was terrible all night long? Warriors got all the love. I thought never crossed my mind.
Right. First I'm hearing of this, It was interesting. The league's 2-minute report came out, and final 2 minutes, they got all the calls correct.
Really?
The league said, yep, everything was done above board. Everything was correctly called last night. So.
Yeah, free throw wise, the Kings shot 23. The Warriors shot 15.
There you
and
go.
the foul 17 on the Warriors, 17 on the Kings.
There you go. I mean,
I know they were somewhat controversial, some of the charge block calls, but to my eye, once they challenged, they got most, if not all of those right. I didn't have a big issue.
Klay Thompson's block on Kevin Huerter? Remember that when Huerter had the breakaway and Klay Thompson came out of nowhere and blocked him? When I first saw it, it looked like a clean block. But everybody, it's like the Zapruder film. Everybody slowed it down frame by frame, and you can see he comes across the arm on Kevin. I mean, that happens. I'm not going to blame the officials for that. You were in a position to win the game. You had a chance. Get a stop. We're not even talking about the officials today, so I'm not going to say.
I know Colby Jones had that. Was it on Kuminga? Where at first they called
he almost was there, like he was there.
The replays, like he was.
He started moving,
yeah.
And part of it is he bracing for the contact? But by letter of the law, they reviewed it, and it was a right call. They made the correct call.
Yeah. So, usually we hear a lot of that. That's First I've heard of it today. I did think, Kyle, love to know what you thought. I thought Mike Brown's game plan defensively last night was really inspiring, mixing up the zone. And then we talked about having Davion guarding Draymond Green so that Draymond couldn't set screens and then create those switches that were unfavorable. I thought it was a really smart plan, and obviously he knows them very well. But they had a lot of success with it, and I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah, I thought Mike Brown won the coaching matchup against Steve Kerr yesterday, because when you looked at when he went to the zone, and they hadn't done this at all this season before, first time doing it, if I'm correct. They did it when Steph Curry and Klay Thompson were both on the bench. So the Warriors had a non-shooting team out on the floor, and this was in the second period, I think it was. And the Kings just took advantage of it. You know, Kobe Jones was out there. Chris Duarte was out there as part of it. And that second unit in that first half, they dominated. They put the Kings right in position there. Kings trailed by 1. And so I thought the zone, even in the second half, I thought the zone worked pretty well. The move to put Davion on Draymond, I get it. Did it work or not? I don't know. I guess it did, but the decision to put Keegan on Steph seemed to have worked. And so I thought Mike Brown, we hear so much about his great coaching defensively, a great defensive mind. I thought him and Jordy Fernandez did a good job last night.
What did you think of the decision on the final possession where you don't know what's going on? You know they're trying to get it to Steph, to have Davion on Klay?
I'm okay with it.
I am too.
I'm okay with it. Yeah. And if was Keegan on Steph right at that time?
He ended up on Draymond pressuring him after there was there was a trap. They got the ball out of Steph's hands. Yeah.
And there was a lot of contact too, to try and free Steph there. And so I just think, I like the move Davion on Klay. The thing about Davion, and I'll guarantee you, if he wishes he had this back, I mentioned it earlier. Klay 6'6", Davion 6'2". When there's that kind of size advantage, you got to do your work before he even gets the ball. And so you got to deny, and you were mentioning this on the air or off the air, you got to do a better job of denial so that Klay, especially in that foul line range, that's easy money. He just turns around and shoots right over you. Hell of a shot, obviously, by Klay. But Davion, to me, should have did his better work before even Klay got the ball.
That was the one thing I noticed watching the replay is that, he could have been cheating a little bit more into the passing lane. But would that have made a difference? I don't know. That was obviously, like you say, Klay gets the ball there. It's tough for Davion to contest that shot.
Yeah,
and made a good shot.
Yeah, and somebody in the 916 says, guys, on that game-winning shot, Klay shoved Davion off to create the space, subtle right forearm shiver as he stepped back. Yep. And that's what happens you're right. Yep. That's what happens in the NBA. But there was a possession, I think it was before the Sabonis shot. Me and Katie, it was like, I think Sabonis got hacked or something like that, led to a turnover. And there was no call. And it was like, man, they're going to let him play here. Like it was a clear foul and they didn't call it. And so the officiating was questionable, but that's not the reason why you won the game. What frustrates me about officiating is if you call a foul in the first quarter, it should be the same foul call in the fourth.
It's not.
It should be, right?
It's not. You're right.
A foul is a foul is a foul.
Completely.
Right? And this whole swallow the whistle and let the players decide, then you're putting the offense at a disadvantage. You're giving the defense an advantage where you could be a little more physical. You could take more chances. I don't like that, Whitey.
Just think, and I know no one wants to talk about baseball. Congratulations to Bruce Bochy. Think if they did that in baseball, where it's a strike in the first inning, but in the ninth inning,
exactly. Yeah. Or the other way around. That's a ball in the first, in the ninth. We're going to widen the strike zone or something like that. It's just
the whole system breaks down.
I hate it, and we saw it the other night. With that Kevin Durant play where, the Spurs stripped him, he got hit in the face, maybe on the arm, but they swallowed the whistle. Mm-hmm. And so I don't like that whole notion of let the players decide. If the players did decide, he fouled him.
And we're seeing that more and more in the NFL this year.
Yes.
At the end of games, it's like, oh, well.
We're going to let it go. Yeah. I don't like that at all, man.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. TC joins us on Sactown Sports. TC, that was a tough one last night.
Man, I'm still sick, man. I'm living about that game. You know what, man? The whole Klay Thompson situation, man. Because you know what? We deeper than the Warriors, bro. And honestly, bro, we're a better team. I know they got experience, but, man, we a better team. It took their best punch to beat us without our best player last night by 1 point. So that should tell you a lot, man. I like what Mike Brown did with Keegan, throwing Keegan on Curry. I think we should move forward with that. You know what I'm saying? And I was just I watched the game last night, man. It had me upset. But overall, when we out-rebound them like that, we got to hit those second chance points.
Yeah.
I think that's where it went last night. And the whole make one free throw and miss one free throw, we got to work on that, bro. So we had plenty of shots to win last night. It wasn't like we got blew out by 40, if you understand what I'm saying, man.
Yep, absolutely.
100%
TC. That's in some ways, that's why it hurts more. If you got blown out, in some ways you could say, well, no Fox, right? Of course we got blown out. But when they were practically handing you the game,
right,
you can make the shots. Tough loss. At some point, TC, they just got to beat the Warriors. Next time around, please beat the Warriors.
We'll beat them. Don't worry about it. We'll get them.
All right.
All right,
Thanks,
TC. And TC raised a great point regarding the second chance points. Sacramento had 12 second chance points, the Warriors 10. But the Kings were 5 for 14 on second chance opportunities. Golden State 4 of 8. When you get those offensive rebounds, you got to pay. You did a heck of a job on the glass. You out-rebounded them on the offensive rebounds 14-7, but the second chance points were pretty even. And so that's one thing that the Warriors usually do to you is they make you pay for giving them multiple possessions. We didn't make them pay last night.
Yeah, I thought on a number of those possessions, you get the ball, you pull it back out, then you're in the half court, and that's where you really missed De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
And the offense got a little gummed up sometimes in those situations.
Yeah, that's true. That's 100% true. And,
and they just weren't shooting well. That's a big thing.
they weren't shooting well. And to, your point, a back tap out or a second chance to De'Aaron Fox, he's salivating. He's licking his chops. He knows exactly what to do with it. When you look at Davion, Malik, and some of the other guys, it's like, all right, do we run the offense? Do we put it back up? Like, De'Aaron's been in that position so many times. They definitely missed him down the stretch.
What do you think of this from Patrick Donaldson? Mitchell is too short. I would have had Kessler Edwards on Clay for that play. Well, first of all, you didn't have a timeout. So it's not like you had a chance to sub.
Yeah, you didn't have a timeout. You were out of timeouts. Do you bring in Kessler Edwards? And then
you don't have the luxury. You couldn't go offense, defense there. You didn't have, it wasn't like dead ball. All right, let's prepare for this final possession.
Right.
You just didn't have that opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. Kessler Edwards, we know he's a good defender, but, like I said, I think Davion should have done a little more work before Clay even got the ball.
Mm-hmm. We're going to take a timeout. Come right back as we head down the home stretch here. Are there wins to be had in the upcoming Kings schedule? Kyle Draper will take a peek at that and let you know. It looks like some good news on the horizon. That's next year with the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox. The breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam team, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
iPhone 15 Pro on Verizon. This holiday, trade in any iPhone in any condition for the new iPhone 15 Pro with titanium, Apple TV 4K, and 6 months of Apple One. All on us with Unlimited Ultimate. Go to your local Verizon store now. 6 months of Apple One, then $10 per month. $999.99 device payment or full retail purchase with new smartphone line on Unlimited Ultimate plan required. Less $1,000 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. Promo credit ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. 0% APR. Apple TV 4K and Apple One offers require eligible phone purchase with activation on Unlimited Ultimate. Additional terms and conditions apply. Visit Verizon.com for details.
O'Reilly. Protect your engine better with Syntec Full Synthetic High Mileage Motor Oil, only at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Syntec High Mileage is formulated for today's engines with over 75,000 miles. Now get 5 quarts of Syntec High Mileage and a MicroGuard Select oil filter for just $34.99. Limits apply. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The Drive Guys, live and local, every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Already today, we heard from De'Aaron Fox. He spoke after practice about his ankle situation. I'm not sure how I should feel about it, Kyle. Obviously, we want him back as soon as possible. He's not sure when he's going to be back. Sounds like there are some there's some reason for optimism. He says he's at a 4 pain level wise now, but feels like he's making progress. After what we heard from De'Aaron Fox, do you have any idea when we might see him again?
It sounds like he wants to play this weekend, right?
It does.
If I was a betting man, I think Fox will play on Monday. Give him a couple of more days, be able to practice with the squad. He'll travel to Houston with the team, obviously. But our level of concern and our fans' level of concern doesn't seem to match De'Aaron's level of concern. Like, he seemed like, a few days, I'll be, he didn't seem to be worried. So I'm encouraged by that. With that being said, give him one more game off. Like, you have a sprained ankle like that, and all you miss is one game. I think, you know what? Take it easy, De'Aaron. We got you on Saturday in Houston. I know you want to ball out in front of the home crowd, your hometown team, and everything like that, but come back on Monday. We'll take care of you on Saturday.
Another quick note, just glancing at the box score, something I've been meaning to mention, and I keep forgetting to mention it. I understand why he's adjusting to a new country, let alone a new league. But boy, when you're struggling to make shots, it would have been nice last night if Sasha could have knocked down some shots.
Yeah, exactly.
I get it, but would have been nice.
Whitey, you want everybody to shoot 80% from 3, don't you?
I want everybody to shoot at least 40%.
Right. I thought Sasha, played pretty good last night. Like, defensively, you could tell he was engaged, and that's the thing about Sasha. The shots will come. And let's not forget, one of his shot attempts, the shot clock was like,
yes,
he had to heave it up. It was a tough shot. But I think the scoring will come. The shots will come. I'm just happy to see the competitor in him come out. And so
5 rebounds.
Yeah, 5 rebounds, some solid defense. I think he tried to take a charge, got called for a block in that game. And so nobody shot the ball well last night. Outside of Davion, you can say Malik, Domas, but other than that, HB, 4 of 7. Okay, but Keegan, Kevin Huerter, Sasha, they struggle shooting the ball a little bit. Chris Duarte, 0 for 3. I'm surprised he only got 6 minutes and change last night as well.
Henry Turner said something really interesting yesterday, and I know you were on remote, so maybe you didn't catch it, maybe you did, but we were talking about Sasha and that incredibly quick release.
Yeah.
And Henry said, sometimes it's almost too quick.
Yeah.
You got to catch the ball.
Get set, right? Yeah, exactly. It's like it's out of his hands so quickly.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, dude, it's okay. Just a half a second, right? Just catch it and then go back. Like, sometimes it's like super fast, and I love the quick release, but it might be too quick. You're right.
Yeah. I don't know him enough to know if that's, that's how he always shoots the ball. So you look ahead here, you got the Kings at Houston Saturday and also Monday at Houston. Kyle will be gone tomorrow. Jerry Reynolds is going to be in. Kyle's going to be on his way to Houston. A couple wins there. I mean, in this, the NBA being what it is now, I'm never going to assume that, that's 2 easy wins, but it'd be 2 valuable wins.
Yeah, it would be 2 valuable. I actually like the Rockets roster. Not saying they're going to be a good team or anything like that, but they are a much improved team. I know they're only 1-3 on the season, but they've lost to the Warriors. They lost by 4 to the Spurs, and for some reason, they got blasted by the Orlando Magic. I think what you're going to see from this Houston team, and I think the Kings are catching them at a good time, it's going to be a while until they figure it out. They got a lot of new pieces on this team. Fred VanVleet, Dylan Brooks.
They are. I agree with you that they're a lot better than last year. That's not necessarily saying much. They were dreadful last year. Yeah, but last year it'd be like, those are 2 easy wins. And the Kings did a great job last year of beating, for the most part, the teams that they're supposed to beat.
Outside of Charlotte, Washington, and Philadelphia with no Embiid or Harden. But the thing about this Houston team, they got some adults in the room now. You got VanVleet, who's won a championship. You got Jeff Green, who's won a championship.
Don't say it.
I'm not going to say Dylan Brooks. I'm not going to say, but one thing that this team does have, with the addition of Dylan Brooks and VanVleet, they're physical. It's gonna be a tough matchup, and so you got to put on your hard hat and bring your lunch pail. And the physicality we saw against the Warriors, you have to match that and bring that back again on Saturday, because Dylan Brooks, he's going to try to punk you. Fred VanVleet, he's a physical small guard, but yes, he's a physical guard, and so I think you got to bring that same level of physicality on Saturday.
So it's at Houston Saturday, at Houston Monday, and then back home to play Portland on Wednesday, the 8th, and it's not unreasonable to think that the Kings have a chance here, very realistic chance to win 3 straight.
Yes, and, we always say, obviously, respect your opponent, but these are teams sort of rebuilding. These are teams you should beat, especially Portland at home. Portland's actually playing much better than I think people, give them credit for. DeAndre Ayton, he's playing solid. They got some veterans, Robert Williams coming off the bench, Malcolm Brogdon, who's having a tremendous start to the season. And so the mark of a good team where the Kings are trying to go is that you beat, like you said, the teams you're supposed to beat. I'm looking at the Boston Celtics. They're sending a message night in and night out. And that's how I want the Sacramento Kings to be. Don't be taking Houston lightly. Don't be taking Portland lightly. These are games. If you handle your business, Domantas Sabonis should be resting in the fourth quarter. De'Aaron Fox, when he comes back, should be resting in the fourth quarter. Don't let these teams hang around.
Then 1 week from tomorrow night.
Yeah!
In Oklahoma City. The in-season tournament tips off the group stage.
Yes. And, I hope De'Aaron's back for that, too, because you're talking about 2 of the top 5 point guards.
I didn't know you were that excited about it.
No, not the tournament, just the matchup.
Okay, right.
And that's the thing with the NBA. Like, sure, it's an in-season tournament game. Whoop-de-freaking do. And trust me, when I'm on the call on that Friday night, I'll be hyping it up. But I'm already hyped already to see OKC. They're one of the best young teams out there. I'm excited to see Giddey, Chet Holmgren, Shai Gilgeous going against De'Aaron Fox. And so that's what I'm hype about. The in-season tournament, I know I'm not supposed to say it, but it doesn't get me excited. Not right now anyway.
Kyle, I don't think there are going to be a lot of stretches this year in this NBA schedule where the Kings, or really any team, can go, oh, yeah, we got a little patch here where we're going to be able to make some hay. So given that, I mean, this is about as close as you get to that, these next 3 games. So the Kings obviously have to take advantage of this opportunity. Houston, and Portland.
Yeah, and especially with no De'Aaron Fox. If you can go 5-2 through these first 7 games, that is a win for this Sacramento Kings team. If you're 4-3, it's okay, but you're not feeling as good. 5-2, having played the Warriors twice and the Lakers in that stretch, I think that would be a fantastic start. Remember, this team was 0-4 to start the season last year. They had a tough stretch right out the gate. Memphis was in that mix, I believe, so they had a tough schedule. They have a tough schedule to start this season, but if you can go 5-2, that's encouraging for me.
I know it's painfully early here, but you look at the West, Dallas 4-0, Warriors 4-1, Denver 4-1. They finally lost. The Pelicans are 3-1, Lakers 3-2, Clippers 3-2, Thunder 3-2, the Spurs are 2-2, the Timberwolves are 2-2, the Suns are 2-2, and the Kings are 2-2.
And the worst team, the Memphis Grizzlies, 0-5.
Yeah,
they're struggling right now. They're struggling big time right now, but you got to imagine.
They're probably going to play better,
right?
too.
They're probably going to play better at some point. And so, who's the easy win on this schedule? Maybe Houston, but like I just mentioned, Houston, they got some veterans in the room now, and so I think every game is going to be tough. None of these teams I would want to face. Like, none of these teams I'm taking it home to the bank. Oh, that's a win. Mark it down. It's going to be a dogfight all these games, man.
Yes. And they're so important. Every game against a Western team is so important.
Yes,
this year.
Exactly. And we talked about it last week, and we talked about it when you look at the schedule last season and the season last season, 3 through 6, 4 through 8, 9, 10, only separated by 4 or 5 games. And that's how it's going to be this year, maybe even tighter. You go on a 3-game losing streak, you could go from 2 to 10 just like that. And so that's why to your point, every game is important, especially in the West. Every game is going to be big.
That's why 1-point loss, that stings a little bit, but it's gone now, and golden opportunity gone. But the fact that the Kings for stretches, played much better defensively. The fact that their coach, Mike Brown, even acknowledged after the game that they're making strides when it comes to playing the type of physical defense he wants them to play. Those are encouraging signs.
And here's the thing about this Kings team.
Warriors.
I know, right? How they are today, November 2nd, isn't how they're going to be February 2nd, March 2nd. And so we want to see the growth. In the last 2 games defensively, we've seen some growth from this Kings team.
All right, have a good flight. If
Thank
you get
you.
a chance, we would love to hear from you at some point tomorrow as much as you're available. Have a good flight to Houston. Jerry Reynolds will be in tomorrow for Kyle Draper. And we're going to take you now to Thursday Night Football. Got the Titans and the Steelers coming up next right here on Sactown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple.